How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the TG podcast. We are here. Actually, this is the first episode of the new year as well. First TG podcast 2025, I'm pretty sure. So big up for that, people. But yeah, we've got a really big panel today, man. Some really good panel today. We've got Seb with us. How you doing, mate? You all good?
Seb, you're holding back, bro.
Silence is deafening.
I just went, yeah, I'm good. Big up every single time, Seb. Dom, mate, how you doing, my friend? You all good?
I'm all right. I just want to see you move like Rainy Day Ozil.
Oh, my. Nah, guys, is this because I was late? Is this what's going on?
Bro, you're moving like Moreno, for God's sake.
No, hold on a minute. Nah. Listen,
let's not be harsh on Moreno, Rory.
The reason for the latest people, my brother John, man like John Sinclair, Newcastle fan. I did an opposition preview of him, pre-recorded, and we ran over a little bit, people. I do apologise, but that'll be coming out very soon. So, yeah, I had to interview the Newcastle fan, man. We're enemies tomorrow, man. We need to get his thoughts on obviously the game, and I'll tell you something now, he is very confident for tomorrow, people. Yeah, he's coming out and saying that he thinks they're going to come and do us at the Emirates. So obviously we will talk about that game in a minute as well, people. But Dom, big up to you every single time, mate. Cooper, my brother, how's it going, man?
It's good. You know,
apart from Arsenal.
Apart from Arsenal, I watched that the Serie A
Super Cup final, yeah.
Milan. And the way Milan fought back was just amazing. It's great. I wish Arsenal had some of that in their side. And that Fofana guy, Fofana guy that Yusuf Fofana that we were linked with all summer long. Boy, that guy's a fucking baller.
Yeah, he's
would have been great for our midfield, but we got Moreno, who turns like a double-decker bus.
And big up Cooper every single time, man. And it's been a while. I think the last time I got my guy Posh on was maybe end of last season when we did the season review, mate. But we got Posh. Obviously, you guys will see him over Gunnar Gathering.
Posh,
my friend. How you doing today, man? Thank you for coming on today.
Yeah, no worries. No, I'm good, thank you, and good to be back on again. I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, Dom has been on Gooner Gathering before many times, and it's good to intertwine on this channel. So, looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, big up to you every single time, my friend. It's great to have you back on the channel. And Rory as well, my friend. You all good? How's it going, man?
Yeah, I'm good, bro. Hopefully no nonsense tonight.
I doubt that, mate. I doubt that. Popcorn settings coming, people. Get the popcorn ready, whatever it may be. Let's get into it, people. By the way, I don't know what's happened to the overlay. It's meant to be white, where the red is, but I completely cut it all off. I think you guys can make out what it says I don't know, mate. Anyway, basically, we're talking about Brighton. We're going to talk about, obviously, Liverpool dropping points and opportunity missed. Talk about Newcastle tomorrow, and then we're going to talk about a bit about injuries and etc. Transfers, maybe if we've got time towards the end.
I love the fact you think we're going to stick to an agenda.
Yeah, no, we're going to go everywhere. No, I'm telling you, people. Yeah, we'll be lucky.
I'll try to stay on the agenda.
No, big up Cooper, man. Big up. Let's get into the first. Obviously, we have to revisit the game. And more points dropped, away at the Amex, 1-1 to Brighton after a very good start. Going a goal up. Big up Wanyeri, by the way, getting himself a goal there. 17 years of age, stepping up for us. Great to see. Obviously, but I said enough. I think that the biggest thing for me is that we didn't kill the game off. Always 1-0 up. I think we could have gone and got that second goal eventually, but. Obviously, second half, the whole penalty incident happened. We will talk about that separately, by the way. I just want to focus on the game to start with and the result, and then we all have a separate section to that. Because I know a lot of people got a lot of opinions on that anyway. But dismissing the penalty, we had half an hour left. Yeah, for me, we still could have won that game. We also have to look at ourselves and the performance itself as well. And plus, the lineup for me, like the midfield, I know we had illness players, I know there's injuries out, but there's just no creativity in the midfield. When you're playing Payet right back, when you're playing, Marino, Rice, and who else? Who's the other guy, mate? Marino, Rice,
Jorginho, the Chelsea.
Jorginho, yeah. There we go. So that was the midfield we was rocking up with, and there was just no creativity. Very, very underwhelming, frustrating to drop points yet again this season, people. 7 draws now it is for Arsenal. And big opportunity missed because Liverpool also dropped points, man. And every single time they drop points, we don't seem to capitalise for some reason. But I want to come to... I tell you what, let's come to Posh first, bro. Overall thoughts on, obviously, the performance and, obviously, apart from... Because we'll talk about the penalty incident later on, but what do you make of that, dropping more points again, man? And overall thoughts on that performance for you, bro?
Well, I'll talk about the lineup first because I was actually one of the people that could just about anyway understand the rotation because I'm of the belief that the game coming up against Newcastle is bigger than the game against Brighton because we have to win something. And I think we have a better chance on paper at winning the Carabao Cup in where we are than winning the league at the moment. So I can understand the rotation. Don't forget, we've got 9 games this month alone. We're going to have to rotate. So that's kind of what we did. I mean, we had to change the right back because Timber was suspended. Luckily, he'll be back for the Newcastle game, but we'll get to that in a minute. Yeah, so I knew it was going to be really tough. Brighton away is always a tough place to go. Brighton are very organised, both defensively and in attack. And it was always going to be tough when we had to make those rotation options. But it was very good to see Nwaneri get a goal. Obviously, it's such a shame what's happened to him because he was probably the only bit of creativity we had in the first half. He certainly, obviously, I'm not comparing the two, but he does just about make up for the lack of Bukayo Saka that we had. But yeah, it was a good goal from Nwaneri. But yeah, I do agree. It's another one of those games where points are dropped.
Yeah, no, very well said, man. And I couldn't really agree more. I couldn't really put it better there, my friend. Let me come to very. Listen, guys, this guy's angry, man. I can just tell he's frustrated.
I can see the steam coming out of his ears. I love you, Seb.
Seb, the stage is yours, my friend. Just say how it is, man. Say how you're feeling about that. More points.
Someone give him a hug. Jesus.
Yeah, man. What, Seb, thoughts on that, my friends?
Pray for the desk.
What on earth did I just watch there? But let's be honest, does that surprise you of how we've been playing late? Does that surprise you? Does that surprise you with that team selection? No, absolutely not. It doesn't surprise you that anymore. You are never going to have creativity in this side when you play Partey at right back. You are never going to have creativity there. No wonder we didn't look threatening going forward. Because let's be honest, Brighton, they were there for the taking. They had players in that team I never heard of and had some of the good guys like Matoma, etc. on the bench. That was the time to kill them off. But there was just nothing. It was only one good bit of skill from Nwaneri. That was it. Otherwise, what did we actually do in that second half? What did we actually do other than time waste? Is this now the new Arsenal now? Time waste? What is Arteta telling these people?
26 minutes in.
You're kidding me.
Roll the ball down.
You're kidding me.
But it's the dark arts.
26 minutes in and Nwaneri gets booked for yellow for time wasting. That comes straight from Arteta.
Bro, this is starting to cheat me off, I can't even lie.
Look, it has come. It's these tactics now. We were doing it against Ipswich for crying out loud. Is this only just get a goal and sit back? I'm like, they're there for the taking, kill it off. But it doesn't help when you've got players out of position again. You've got Partey at right back. He's not a right back. Oh, we haven't got anyone else available. Yes, we do. You have Lewis Skelly, right-footed. You play him there.
Left-footed. He's left-footed.
Yeah, he is left-footed.
How about putting him in the eight?
Still, he can do a better job there.
How about putting him in the eight?
Look, what I will say,
Rory.
No.
Let me talk.
I'm not arguing with you.
Not yet.
I was just going to say something, right?
What is this?
Well, I actually agree. I think I would have rather have seen Lewis Skelly at right back than a Thomas Partey. And you can say all you want about, oh, we don't have anyone else, and Lewis Skelly, you're dragging him out of position, whatever. At the end of the day, how many times have we played a right back at left back? So why can't we do the same with a left back at right back? That's what I was going to say. I wasn't going to disagree with you, Seb. Carry on.
There we go.
But every time he does this, there's never any creativity in that side. Never. And then Odegaard, he was ill. Well, why was he even on the bench? Why was he coming on? Because we were desperation. Well, this just comes. I hate going back to this all the time, but this is why I went hard on this summer. This is why I keep bringing it up, because all this comes back to bite you. And it has all season. No wonder our season has been so poor. And we're not serious, because this is the third time Liverpool have slipped and we've not taken advantage. It just makes me even more angry yesterday that they dropped points, because that was the time to close that gap. And we've not done it again. So we were not serious. Yes, Liverpool have got half fixtures coming up, but we're probably not going to capitalise. Unless, and I really mean unless you go into this market and you spend big. We're 6 days late in the transfer window. Nothing's happened. 6 days late. They are release clauses left, right, and centre. And you're seeing other teams like Spurs and Newcastle get.
Well, this is where I'm going to argue.
It can be done. No,
it can't. It can't be done.
It can be done. Yes, it can. Right.
It can't. It can't.
Yes, it can.
It can't. How much did Tottenham spend on that goalkeeper?
Doesn't matter. It was a position they needed. It was a position they needed to spend. They've just gone and done it.
It does.
A few seasons back. Well, 7 years back, remember Liverpool? They were awful at the back, but electric going forward. And who did they do on the first couple of days of the transfer window? Virgil van Dijk.
Because Van Dijk put in a transfer request
through that door. They're there if you pay the money, but they have to pay 75 million.
Requesting for crying out loud.
75 million. Why do you talk over me, please? Can I finish?
Yeah, one at a time.
Can I finish, please?
One at a time, go on.
Because all this is coming back to bite us, left, right, and centre. And if that game, honestly, doesn't tell you that we need goal and creativity in that side, what does? And yes, you need to get them in early, because look at the games we got coming up. We've got Newcastle tomorrow. Trust me, that's going to be a hard game. We've got Man United this weekend in the FA Cup. We've got Spurs next week, the North London Derby. We've also got some hard games against Villa, a couple Champions League games. This is a big month. At the moment, this team is not title ready. They're not title. It's not a title winning side. Well, it's still a very good side, but it's not. The wingers have dropped off left, right, and centre. They've dropped off massively. Dropped off. Trossard, what's happened to him? Martinelli, what's happened to him? Jesus, weekend, went back to being his old self. What did he actually do? Try too hard? Deary me. And yes, as for that pen, that's ridiculous. It's never a pen. Because I'm sorry, Saliba actually got the ball first. And when two teams bash heads, you don't call a foul. You either stop for a drop ball, or you go back to the keeper and play and resume. You don't give a pen. I'm sorry. That's the most ridiculous position. I know this doesn't help when you get decisions like this, but this is why, at the same time, we need to kill off games. Because you know these refs are incompetent. You're always going to get things like this, where he will try and where he could influence the game. But I'm sorry. At the same time, we have got to do our job on the pitch. And then we won't have to rely on these refs to make these woeful decisions.
100%, Seb. 100%.
Thank you. It was never a pen. But don't let that fool you away from the reality of that display. It was not good enough. And we're going to have a lot more games like this unless they do something and unless his manager changes his tactics and does something. It can still be a good season, but not like this, because this is just not good enough. Brentford, okay, we got better, but Imagine if we went 2-0 down. If Raya hadn't recovered that save, imagine how different it could have been. Imagine how. Fair enough, he got away with that one. Ipswich was poor.
Yep.
And then, and then Brighton just topped it off. It's not good enough. And we ain't going to win anything playing like this. He needs to change his ways, this manager, because this is stale. It's too stale. It's too predictable. Teams have worked us out. And we're going to struggle this month. This month is make or break for us. It really is, in terms of everything, because this is the first time in Arsenal's history that we're playing in all 4 competitions in the same month. This is the first time in Arsenal's history.
Wow,
where are the signings? Get them in.
They gotta have red stickers on them, like the meat at the grocery store when you go buy it. Red tag, or you better buy this because it's shit tomorrow. So let's buy it now.
He means obviously in the UK we have the yellow ones, right? Cooper.
Oh, you got yellow stickers, yeah.
In
the US it's red.
Reduced.
It's like use the shit or it's gonna be bad tomorrow.
Exactly. But Seb, I do agree, mate.
Thank you very much. But
I agree.
I'm sorry. I keep coming on here and being argumentative and just being critical.
Seb, I agree with you.
The thing is,
I agree with you a lot.
Thank you. The thing is, this should have been a season we should have kicked on and done and won this league. City have had a drop-off. Liverpool are slipping up as well. But why are we in the background to do anything? Why are we not there taking advantage? Why every time they slip, we slip? Why? Because we're not serious. And it just makes me even more annoyed, that game yesterday. It doesn't give us... We're in no different position to Liverpool than we were after that Chelsea game, because it's technically 6 with a game in hand, and if they win that, it's 9, and we were 9 points behind Liverpool, heading after before the international break. So what's the difference? Yeah. What's the difference? Just a couple of good performances here now and then. What's the difference? And when you play, there's no creativity, there's no attacking flair. What's the difference?
Seb, thoughts on win the dog plushies?
This is why.
This is as close as I could get to win the dog. This is Fergus.
Win the dog. Cooper's got win the dog.
I got Fergus the dog.
Honestly, what is this? Honesty, that's embarrassing. It is really, really, really embarrassing. This.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll let other people speak. I could be here all day. I'll let other people. I'll let other people speak before I take over this whole show, because it's just.
Liverpool
have not even looked good. Didn't even play well against United.
I know, mate.
We keep missing opportunities. Everton, Fulham, Chelsea, Brighton, Bournemouth.
Yeah, I agree.
8 draws, 7 draws.
He's speaking facts. Yeah, I agree. Big missed opportunity.
Yes. So
how many draws is that now? How many?
7. Yeah, 7.
It's not good enough. That's more than we did last season. That doesn't win you any title. How many?
Too many draws.
How many draws?
Too many drop points.
We're not taking it. Oh, dear me. It's not good enough. And let's be honest, most of those draws, they're really losses, let's be honest. Maybe apart from City away.
Well, that's what it feels like, doesn't it? Like,
maybe apart from City away, every other draw this season has felt like a loss.
Yeah, no, they do. They do 100%.
We're not even playing well. We're not even. Everything has gone stale. The attack, it's so slow. It's been slow for ages. There's no creativity. There's no cover. There's no nothing.
Let me move to
go on. Sorry.
No, you're good, man. No, you're good. No,
seriously, we need to stop making excuses. Let's pull the club out.
I thought you were going to let other people speak.
Where are the excuses, bro? Where are the excuses?
Let me come to Dom, my friends. Obviously, more points dropped. Obviously, away at Brighton. Obviously, we know the whole penalty incident as well. But what do you make overall of that, result? And do you agree that we could have done more to obviously go for like example, kill the game off when he's 1-0 up, and also after even when they scored, could we have done a bit more? And obviously your thoughts on the team selection as well as a whole, my friend.
Well, I've had a quick chat with Win, and we've done some analysis in the game. No, I mean, I think firstly, and we'll talk about the penalty properly in a minute. I think
maybe he'll be starting it right back this week.
No, Timber will back in. I mean, obviously, I think the penalty was the turning point of the game. But I think, as I think Bertie said, and I think Seb might have said it at some point, I don't think you can just say that that is the reason that we didn't win the game, because ultimately you can't always rely on a 1-0. In terms of team selection, I'm kind of where Bertie's at. I think you prioritise Tuesday. I think it's tomorrow, isn't it? Not Wednesday. I think you prioritise that game as a cup semi-final, and I don't actually think there was much of a choice we had in the team selection. Obviously, Odegaard wasn't fit. I think he was there to make up the numbers. Havertz wasn't available, just not well. Sterling, Saka, couple of others. So I don't think there was probably much choice in the team selection, but it absolutely lacked creativity, and you could see that. And then when you lose even Nwaneri on top of that, Martinelli coming on, he wasn't well either. And again, you could see that in the performance. You're kind of struggling for creativity. So I understand why we didn't go and kill the game and tried to defend it, because we are good defensively. However,
not that good.
Well, exactly. But you're always running the risk, right, when you're trying to defend a 1-0 lead, that something happened, and that is
at 27 minutes.
Yeah, I'll come on to that in a second. But, if there's something happened, which is obviously in this case the penalty, but all it takes is one mistake or one moment of brilliance, and suddenly you're losing the game. So it's not a tactic you want to rely on. I understood it, actually, on Saturday, but it has been a theme of the season, as I've talked about several times, that we are too slow in attack and too predictable, and particularly against a low block. Now, Brighton didn't do a low block necessarily, but there weren't really the options there from the bench, because Martinelli and Odegaard weren't fit at all. Let's be clear. So I think, I like I say, I understood why we went to do it, but it was I always feared at 1-0 that the game wasn't over. I thought we were better in the first half than Brighton were. Second half, we were poor. We looked tired. We looked devoid of ideas without Ranieri. He's obviously had to go off. Funny enough, I think Bertie and I were talking about this yesterday. I was like, what the hell are we doing taking Ranieri off at half time? And obviously it transpires he's injured, right? So kind of have to go while he's injured. That is what it is. I don't like the time wasting. I don't like it when any team does it. Even 1-0 in the 96th minute, I know it's smart and I can understand that, but I don't like the time wasting. I think that has to end. And we have to play quicker than we do in possession. Because when we do that, we actually look threatening and we do look dangerous. We're just not doing it enough. That does come from the manager, and he does need to change that. I would agree with Seb. I do find the lack of points we're getting this season incredibly frustrating, obviously. I do, however, think there are mitigating circumstances. The manager has to take responsibility for the way we're setting up and the slow attack. No question about that. We've all agreed that we're attacker light. We said it after the summer window. I think the squad is the right size, but it was a defender heavy and attacker light. And that is coming back to bite us. But right now, there aren't the options there, and we do need to act fast in this transfer window. I'm sure we'll come on to transfers, but I'm not surprised that we haven't seen anything 6 days in. I think most of the signings that have happened have been fairly sort of low-level signings across the league, so that's not a shock. But we do need to act fast, and we cannot come out of this window or even get probably to the halfway stage in this window without signings. But it is incredibly frustrating. I think the fact that we've dropped points here again probably means the league has gone. I think this side can win a league. It's shown it can, compete with the very best. But I just don't think it's going to happen this season. Partly because of the manager, partly because of circumstances. Right? You look at Brighton, think different refereeing decisions at 6 points, but it doesn't detract from a poor performance on Saturday. I'm less worried by that performance, to be clear, than I was against, say, I know we won against Ipswich, but that wasn't good, or Everton, or Newcastle away. I mean, Newcastle a good side. Those performances worried me more than this one. I can kind of see where we're at with this one, but I think that probably means now that despite Liverpool dropping points, that the title is going to go their way. I think the fine margins are landing on their side and not ours, and you need those fine margins. The only thing now that can possibly get us there is a turn of luck for us with the injuries and a signing, and probably a Salah injury for for Liverpool. I think that probably is what changes it. That's the only hope right now. And I think Bertie's right. You had to go after the cups, but it was unquestionably a disappointing decision. Game, no question about it. But I don't know what other options we'd have had in that game, given the state of the illness and the injuries. But there is a theme there, and that theme, as I say, has to change, as I've said on many occasions.
Yeah, man.
What are you going to say, Tom, if it doesn't?
Sorry, Seb, I didn't hear your question.
But what are you going to say, Tom, if it doesn't change?
If what doesn't change?
What you just said.
What about the injuries or about the tactics?
The approach and all that.
Yeah, I think at the end of the season you have to review it. I think if we're in a position where we get someone in January, and let's say we get 3 more attacking injuries for the rest of the season, then you can look at it and understand it. So I think it will depend on circumstance. But let's say we are completely trophyless at the end of the season, and we don't carry 6-7 injuries between now and the end of the season, which is roughly what we carry in all this season, then I don't think Mikel Arteta can have any complaints.
So do other clubs.
I get this, but the thing is, these injuries would not happen if you have enough depth around the squad, because then you can actually rotate. You can actually have players coming into the side. But because we don't, they've been run into the ground. And yes, the amount of games doesn't help. But the thing is, we knew this at the start of the season. But what was done about it in the summer? Were they prepared for this? The answer is no.
Well, we all agree we're attacker light, right? But
what was the net spend?
I'll tell you 2.
What was the net spend in the summer transfer window?
I don't know off the top of my head, but I think we made a small profit. But we also made big losses in the previous 2.
Yeah, like $10 million. Like $10 million. That's what
something like that.
It was all about balancing the books.
So we sold all those players. We sold all those players over the summer, and we sold ESR. We sold.
Yeah, I know. Didn't replace them.
Right, didn't replace them. Eddie didn't replace them. But I'm saying even the money there's $60 million right there. Exactly. What did we spend it on?
Just really quickly on that, just to answer your question.
I think there's money.
Of course, there's money.
I don't want to hear FFP. We didn't sign anybody in last January, and we brought in 2 bullshit players, in my opinion.
Yes, we did.
So you're just injury prone. You either the identity, like when these guys are like Arteta signings are shit. There have been some good ones. Gabriel. Great fucking signing. Ben White, great signing. But he's made 31 signings. And you think of the Albert Sambi Lacongas, the Willian and Marquinhos for right wing. That's who we signed as backup to Saka. Marquinhos and Willian. He signed Trossard on the left and Jesus, supposedly, who can't get a kick. Or not Jesus, I'm sorry. Sterling, who can't get a kick. Up front, he signed Jesus and he signed Havertz. Not strikers. We've signed like a ton of goalies, which doesn't make sense to me. Like you had Runnerson, you had he signed like 8 goalies to get Raya. How many left backs? Or how many center backs are you going to try?
Well, no, it doesn't make sense.
Can I just address those quickly?
I'm just saying.
It doesn't make sense.
If we have such a great defense, we have all these defensive players sitting on the bench. We have center backs and left backs, right? Why don't you try something different, Arteta?
But the natural left back you got in the team ain't
have some balls. Start Martinelli. Why can't Martinelli start in the middle? He sucks on the side, on the wings right now. Try him up the middle. Try something different. Try.
I mean, we played him there when we first started
in the 8. Try Lewis Skelly in the 8. Yeah. Try Lewis Skelly in the 8.
Also, another player.
Why is he sitting on the fucking bench when he's been really good for us? And we
you just mentioned all
we don't have an 8. We don't have anybody who can play 8. No. Put the kid in. and you watch other clubs, and you sit there and you're like, wow, who's this guy? Because they're kids.
Exactly.
Because other coaches other managers give the youth a chance. And Arteta doesn't. He runs these players into the fucking ground. Look at Odegaard. He hasn't been fit all year. And he is not. They rushed him back from this ankle thing.
Yeah.
And he's practically
Saka ran that guy into the ground. Since I don't want to hear Arteta say, "Oh, we're trying to protect the players." You weren't protecting Saka. You weren't protecting Odegaard. You weren't protecting ML Smith Rowe when he won you. When we got top 4 with him because he was playing so well, and then you sit him down.
He pretty much saved Arteta's job. He pretty much saved
this manager cannot deal with somebody's ego. Period.
Aubameyang's another one.
Yeah.
Right. Aubameyang. Got rid of him. Lacazette. Ruined him. Who else was in? I don't even remember. Right? But like Gabriel, we get these shitty signings. Zinchenko. These aren't world-class signings.
He's someone that I just suggested as well. I know we don't like him, but play him in midfield.
Yeah,
exactly.
He'd have done that by now.
Yeah, he's a natural midfielder. I'll do that.
He's a natural 8. Play him in the 8. Give it a try.
Exactly.
Can I just try?
Can I just really quickly?
We want to play this slow, robotic. These players look completely bored shitless on the pitch, too. They look uninterested.
So do the fans, to be fair.
I think the players are bored of playing on.
But whose fault is this? Because it's Arteta's. He picked his fucking squad this summer. He did.
Manager.
Yeah.
He went forward with this squad. So I don't want to hear about injuries, penalties.
Well,
because if we took care of business,
in the league, didn't
like Seb said, if we took care of business and had proper players behind every, I'm not saying world beaters, but have somebody who's not on the youth team. Like, you need to build a team. He hasn't built a team. He's built a team around 11 players, except the left back. But the only proper left back, the best left back on this team, he doesn't play him.
Exactly. It's ridiculous.
There is no reason why he can't play here because I'm
he doesn't play inverted.
It's ridiculous.
But I'm sure that Kieran Tierney, we were talking about him as Arsenal captain 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, we loved the way he played. He was gritty. He rolled up his sleeves. He didn't make excuses. That's a player I can get behind.
I mean,
right? But I'm sure he had it out. I'm sure he had a falling out with Arteta because he doesn't seem like he put up with a lot of shit.
I don't think it was a fallout. I think it was because he just can't play inverted.
Yeah.
Nobody's been able to play it.
Well, who does? Come on.
If we built the left side can't do shit anyways. It hasn't done shit in 3 years.
We've always had problems on the left side. That's always been the problem.
So why do we need a proper left back? At least have him going forward and putting crosses in.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah. Then when I mention Alex Grimando all this time, everyone laughs at me.
Hold on.
Everyone laughs at me.
But you're not getting it in January. I'm sorry.
This is why.
Dom, did you want to come in on that?
Yeah, if I just real quick, I missed some of that because my internet. I had a McDonald's Wi-Fi moment, so I missed some of that. But just really quickly, I mean, I agree to some extent, right? In terms of we were an attacker light, I agree.
More than an attacker light. He's had 10 windows to get an attacker in. How could we be in our attack? How could we be an attacker light in 10 windows?
I agree with you on that one.
Well,
right?
No
question.
It's not just attacking. It's just not the attack. We are shorted, by the way.
Well, it's certainly not defense.
5 players in the next 2 windows combined. 5 players.
Who's
guys, hold on. Can we talk one at a time, please? Because we're all over the place. Go on, Dom.
In the midfield, he's taken away. I'm just saying, since Arteta's been there, midfield's been shit, and he's done away with the attack. I mean, the midfield's been this year. It's been really bad.
Awful.
Just real quick, just to address some of those points, and apologies if I missed any of them. As I say, I cut out in the middle, so I didn't quite hear all of what Keith was saying. just on the points I agree with, right? I agree we're an attacker light, no question. I agree I would try Zinchenko and Miles Lewis-Skelly in midfield. I think that should be where their position is. I understand why they play left back because that's the way we tactically set up. And I think that's why Kieran Tierney isn't there. And the manager will live and die by that. And ultimately, actually, since we moved to that system, we've been a lot more successful, to be fair to the manager. I think, well, we have. I think it's unquestionably. Just in terms of the summer transfer window, yes, I've got it in front of me. We made a profit of 22 million, if I round.
22 million net spend, yeah.
Minus 22 million, actually.
Yeah,
we made a profit.
Yeah,
we made money.
Yeah, minus
we made
22
money.
million, yeah.
Having said that, though, in the previous 2 windows, we spent, and I'm slightly rounding here, so it's 139.7, but 140 and 137 million pounds. So that means we spent over the 3 windows 254 million. And the problem we have potentially as PSR is that the way it works is that we can put some of that over several years of the contract, but we haven't sold enough.
How long they are.
Yeah, exactly, right. And they've tightened the rules on that since what Chelsea did, and that's probably sensible. So we don't know what the situation is. Arsenal was saying in the summer that PSR was going to be tight. I think there probably is money now because of the late sales in the window of Ramsdale and Nketiah and Smith Rowe. I didn't want to see Smith Rowe go. I understood why Ramsdale went and Nketiah. It was time, so no problems there. Hopefully that means there's money to spend in this window, and it needs to be spent. On the attack, Arsenal have to take responsibility. They left themselves 1 short in attack. No question.
More than one.
That.
More than one.
I think it's probably 1.
I think it's 2.
Who's back up for Saka?
It is more than 1.
It's more.
Do we have a striker or a backup for Saka?
Yeah, exactly. No backup for Saka. No striker.
No
backup to Odegaard.
Yeah.
No backup to Odegaard.
I think just on that real quickly, I think it's 1 light in terms of numbers. Now, I think Jesus can be upgraded, no question about that. I think Wanyeri is the backup to Odegaard. And we talk about not giving youth a chance. Well, this is Wanyeri. This is Miles Lewis-Skelly. And while he didn't give debuts to Emile Smith-Rowe and Bukayo Saka, he brought them through into the team and carried on their development. I think it was Emery that gave them their debut. But he continued that. So we can't complain that he doesn't give youth a chance. And then when he does, say that we've not brought in backups. So
I argue his development. What happened to Martinelli?
Yeah, I think Martinelli. I think his actual performances. He was excellent 2 years ago. I think that was probably a bit of a purple patch. I think his level is probably between where he was that season and where he was last season. Last season was a definite drop off. I also think that Martinelli is a player who is probably more suited in terms of starting to a side sort of 4th to 8th, 10th, because he's not good against a low block. Arsenal, Manchester City, and arguably Liverpool will play a low block more often than not.
But he used to cook Trent, man.
I agree. I mean, because Trent leaves you space, and I think he is suffering from a lack of confidence where he's not getting the goals and he's not getting the free-flowing football because sides are dropping deeper, denying him the space that he needs to do his best at.
We're dropping deeper. But we are
also dropping deeper, right? You're absolutely right. And I am absolutely with you. The attack has to be better. It has to play better. And Arteta has to get better at that. I am really clear on that and have said it lots of times. But I think when you look at tactically, he will cook Trent when he's confident because Trent will leave space. He is not good against a low block where there is no space in behind. So for me, Martinelli becomes a squad player. For me, I would have gone out in the summer. The missing player I would have had would have been a wide forward in the summer. That's what we should have brought in the summer, because actually that gave us the more options there. Because actually where you want Martinelli playing is against Tottenham, against Manchester City, against Liverpool. You want him playing against the top sides where they will leave you that space. Against Ipswich, he's not going to give you a good performance most of the time because it doesn't suit his game.
But see, we don't have a backup for him.
I think Trossard is a backup, and Trossard is a good. But Trossard has not played well. Trossard is a good squad player. He's a squad player, yeah.
He's not a starter.
No, exactly. But there's your backup there. And that's why I would have gone out and bought the wide forward that could have play on the left wing and preferably be able to play on the right for when Saka's not available, right? Replacing Saka or backing up Saka is probably one of the hardest tasks to do. I'm going to use a Tottenham example here, but they could never find a backup to Harry Kane because Harry Kane plays every week. Liverpool, they brought in, is it Chiesa they brought in this year to back up Salah? It's not really a great player, right? I mean,
he isn't right, but there's somebody.
Well, we brought in Sterling, right?
Oh,
It's
God.
probably of a similar. It's probably of a similar level, right? Maybe a bit better. He got 16 goals last year, but we brought in someone to do it. We're complaining we didn't
the
do
last
it
minute.
at the last minute. I agree. We
They
said,
had to
didn't
play.
want to sign
On
him.
Chelsea, funnily
They
enough.
didn't want him.
but they got
made it clear.
they got a player in to cover him. I agree. Did I want Sterling? No.
They didn't want the player. The club even admitted.
Yes, I'm not denying that. But you can't say they didn't get someone. You can't say they didn't get anyone in when they did get someone in. Now, would I have signed that player? No. Do I think the deal was a good deal? Yeah, it was. It was a Reece Nelson replacement, but it should have. But it should have cut.
I'd rather have Reece Nelson now than him.
Oh my God.
Well, I wouldn't. He's missed the last 4 or 5 weeks. He's going to miss the next couple of months.
Injury.
So Sterling,
Sterling's down. Sterling's down as well. Don't forget.
Yeah, I know Sterling's back in a week or two. But my point being that Raheem Sterling is a better player than Reece Nelson. There's no question in my mind about that.
I wouldn't know anymore because I haven't seen him play this year.
Well, this is part of the problem, and again, that's where Arteta has to take some responsibility for not putting him in. But if Raheem Sterling shouldn't be our fourth winger, Saka, Martinelli, Trossard, Sterling. He should, if he's the fifth player, that's absolutely fine, and that is where we are all in agreement that we should have brought in that additional forward in the summer. No question about that. There is no question and argument for me on that. I said it in the summer. That's what we should have done, and I said at the end of the window we were one defender short and one attacker. That's where Arteta has to take responsibility. But we also have to acknowledge, and there is an acknowledgement here, that the injuries and what have you have been horrific all season, and we have seen the impact that's had on other good sides like Manchester City, who have had injuries to similar levels to us, and their drop off has been even greater than ours. That doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it great, but it is a factor in it. Now, and if that doesn't change, I really don't think. Arsenal could buy, unless Arsenal go out and buy 3-4 players in this window, which isn't going to happen. I don't see how you can change that situation. I think the only one of those regular injuries you can look at and say Arteta could he have done something different is probably on Bukayo Saka. I think he did. I think he did overplay him. But equally, it is a question of it's like the top players always want to play every game.
But he played him in the Carabao Cup.
But he didn't exactly. There were about 5 or 6 games. There were 5 or 6 games. PSV being the obvious example last year where he didn't need and shouldn't have played.
Then with Ben White, he played him against PSV in the pointless game. When he was carrying the kidneys all season, all that game, all through that season. Yeah. But he waits till now to do it. Why was he playing in those games then?
Well,
what he does.
I'm agreeing with you on that one.
Frustrating.
I'm agreeing with you on that one. There is also a factor of when you're building that squad as well. You're going to, if you want to get to where you want to, you're going to play your best players because the backups aren't there. So we were criticising earlier, and Cooper is right.
You keep leaving him on the pitch when he's struggling. He doesn't take him. You can't take him off. You won't take him off the pitch.
But Cooper is right with some of the signings. They've not been the right level. Sambi Lokonga, Marquinhos, right? But also, if you look at when we were signing them, we were taking low risk, high reward gambles because that's what you need to do to get your players in. Nuno Tavares, who ironically is doing really well in Lazio this season, and they will trigger the 12 million release clause. He was the backup to Kieran Tierney. Now, he ultimately wasn't good enough, but you got why that was because we were a side of 6th in the league-ish, 6th best team in England, looking for a backup to a player that in theory is going to play every game. You're not going to come in and get a top player. So you have to put some context in around them. Now, they haven't necessarily worked, but I don't necessarily think they make them bad signings. I think if you want to pick the worst signing to my mind of the lot,
Kai Havertz.
No, not even. It's Fabio Vieira because he cost 35 million, which is quite a lot on a player with a very poor, with no distinguished career before him, hadn't really done anything in the game, and you took a big risk.
We've even played him on the right-hand side as well.
Yeah, and he's done, bar 2 moments, he's done nothing. Like that for me is the worst signing. I can live with Runnison at 1 million, even though it was terrible. It was terrible, no question, but I can live with it. You're looking for a backup goalkeeper when we're shite. I understood the Willian signing. It was free. It didn't work out. It was absolutely awful. But you could understand why they did it.
No,
right?
you should have bought Philip Coutinho instead.
Because you're looking for yellow
should have bought
stickers
Philip
on the beat.
Coutinho instead.
He's not a winger. He's not a winger. He's
hold
a
on.
attacking midfielder.
Guy,
No,
one sec. Can we get back to the topic? We've been going.
Sorry.
Yeah. Real quickly. They're not great signings, and Cooper is right on those ones. I just wanted to acknowledge the last point that Cooper. He is absolutely right. Yeah. We haven't got all the signings right, but also I don't think any side gets all their signings right ever. right? The hit rate in the Premier League is about 50%, and I think
we're below 30%.
Well, no, we're definitely not. Since we got good in the last couple of years, I think our hit rate has been significantly over 50%. I think the only transfer that hasn't really worked out that's been permanent since Arsenal came in the last 3 years, if you look at the signings, the only one for me that hasn't worked out of our permanent signings is Fabio Vieira in the last 3 years. I think the jury is out. The jury is out on the ones this window because they've had 6 months. You have to give them time, so you have to take this window out because it's not. You have to see where they are. But if you look at the previous 2 years, Fabio Vieira probably the only one. The previous 3 years.
Can I just say how do you guys not see Kai Havertz as a waste of money? $65 million for what? He's the highest paid player at the club. What is he? At the end of last year, he tapped him some goals. Hooray, Kai!
Completely disjointed.
But we brought him in to play 8.
He did. And we still need an 8, and we still need a striker.
He
right now.
failed at becoming an 8. He failed. And then we threw him up front, and he's failed. He's never going to score you 20 goals to win a league championship. He's not. So tell me that he's not the worst signing.
He's not the worst signing because he failed as an 8. You're absolutely right. We bought him to play 8. I never want to see him play 8. Right? Absolutely. But he's not the worst signing because the guy has 26 goals and 9 assists. Now, I think, and I said this when we signed him, and I said it
not in 1 year.
Well, no, but
give me Gyökeres, and he'll be putting that up in a year.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yes.
I agree. Havertz is upgradable, but you're talking about the worst signing. He has 26 goals and 9 assists.
The amount of money we paid for him.
I agree. Money is a factor, right? It is a factor. But he has got 26 goals. Fabio Vieira, I haven't got his stats in front of me.
Was he worth 65 when we brought him in?
So on Havertz,
40, right?
On Havertz, it's an overpay by 10, maybe 15 million pounds. And I said when we signed him, I thought he was going to become a squad player. And I think ultimately that's what he's going to become. But that is roughly what squad players cost these days.
65 million to become a squad player.
Well, that is the going rate, right? And he has ultimately, without Kai Havertz last season, we don't have a title push.
I would have taken that 65 million and bought Gyökeres. I would have bought Osimhen. I would have bought Kudos. I would have bought.
That's a very different
players that add something to this team. Arteta doesn't sign players that do anything. We signed 2 players in this summer that came in and can't do anything.
Exactly.
I mean,
they're not somebody who sparks
shambles. The summer was a shambles.
That's like the one window that keeps getting worse.
Look, I think with Kai Havertz, right? You're right. Would I have signed someone different? Yes, I said actually that Kai Havertz, you could get a better striker. There's no question. There's no question about that. And could you have got a better 8? Yes, but it doesn't make him a terrible signing because he didn't fail. He has not failed. He's just not been what he failed in the position we bought him for. But he still has 26 goals.
Is he consistently scoring goals? Is he sporadic?
I think he's sporadic, but he's also not.
But he's not consistent. $65 million is way too high to pay for.
But he's not consistently playing up front either, which is why you're seeing sporadic goals. When he's playing up front, he is getting goals. And now he doesn't get any.
As an 8, he doesn't do anything either. He's terrible.
No, I agree. He is a terrible 8. He is not an 8.
So Arteta brought him in as an 8. So tell me Arteta's like, how does he, like his talent ID is fucking horrible.
Well,
it's horrendous.
Two things here. Right. One, would I bought a different player to Kai Havertz? Yes, 100%. I would. Not disagreeing with you there. I am disagreeing with you that he is the worst signing of a lot. In terms of his talent ID, some things are good, some things are bad. Right? Gabriel, good. Saliba, he's brought him in, developed him through. Ivanier, he's developing into the team. He's developed on Bukayo Saka, who probably would have developed under any manager because he was that good. There are other players he has bought that have worked out, right? No question. Declan Rice is another good example. Jesus actually was a good signing when we signed him. He's just not the same since a knee injury, right? But when we signed him, it was the right player. Zinchenko, the side has moved on past him, but when we signed him, he helped raise the ceiling. So I think there are developments there. There are things there that says that we can identify players and we can make them better. However, you are right that there are players in the side now that either we need to move on because we've moved past them, or that haven't been what we hoped they would be. There's no question on that one.
Yeah, guys, right. Let's move back quickly because my guy Rory's been waiting patiently.
Yeah, sorry, Rory.
Rory, just let's quickly give your thoughts on that Brighton game, and if you want to obviously talk about the penalty as well and that incident, but overall more points dropped, man. But, yeah, what did you make of that as well?
You know what? You might as well just use my clips from previous podcasts when we've dropped points like this, because it feels like I'm saying the same thing. So, oh God, what happened there? Apologies. Yeah, what was I saying? You might as well just use my previous clips from previous podcasts, really, when we have dropped points. I look at this team and go, I don't really recognise it anymore. I'm not really excited watching this team play. I can't even banter other teams about dropping points, because Arsenal, on the other hand, are also capable of dropping points for ruining the weekend. So, I look at this attack. It stinks of piss and shit. Let's just say how it is. The midfield is probably the worst midfield I've seen in a 5-year rebuild. You're telling me in phase 5 we are playing Jorginho, Moreno, and Declan Rice in big 2025?
Trust the process.
I mean, Jorginho, good servant to the club, passed it. Moreno, how the fuck have you got 72 pace on FIFA? Jesus Christ, honestly.
I did tell you all.
Seb, honestly, I never said this guy was a world-class player and he was going to take us to the title, okay? I never said that, right? I said he was a squad player at best. I know my grandma's looking for a fridge, but Jesus Christ, you can't be that slow, surely, if you're playing in the Premier League. He's played in the Premier League twice and he's that slow.
He's not good.
It's kind of making me miss El Neni at this rate.
Make Xhaka look like Tony Cruz.
At least El Neni was capable of having a pop outside the box. Moreno's just all about keep things simple. He's a squad player at best. He is a £30 million player, and I've said it for ages. And I said once that he is a number 6. And after glimpses of not yesterday's game because it was Saturday, but glimpses of the game, and when we got caught on transition, I saw Moreno at times tracking back. The way he's tracking back, he is so slow. And I'm like, well, you're not a 6. You're not a box-to-box midfielder. So what position are you, mate? I mean, the only thing he's got over El Neni is the fact he can win aerial duels. And he can get to his head to the ball. And even before the penalty, which I'll get onto later on, right? How the fuck is he not scoring to put us 2-0 up from that set piece? Brilliant ball by Declan Rice. And the guy, it's not the first time he's done it as well. He did the same against Liverpool, Mr. Sitter. And he's done the same against Brighton. Great opportunity to put us 2-0 up. And the guy just completely miskicks it like he's a kid. This guy's 28 years of age and he's left-footed. Like, what are we doing here? Thomas Partey at right back. Like, honestly, Thomas Partey at right back, Jorginho in our midfield in 2025 is just suicidal. I can't even lie. And you can say all you want, like who you could play at right back due to Timber suspended. At the end of the day, you play Lewis Skelly there because we have no problem. As I said earlier, we have no problem playing a right back at left back. We've played Timber and Tomiyasu in the left back position in the past. So why can't we do the same with our left back at right back? Lewis Skelly can invert onto his left foot, so it wouldn't have been a problem. Or play him in midfield. Don't take Partey out of midfield, especially after that game against Brentford on Wednesday. Don't do it.
Man was crushing everybody. against
Yeah,
Brentford.
and then
Man was a machine, and you take that and you put him in right back.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, right?
You lose all creativity, you lose all strive, you lose all control.
Yeah, the thing with this
Ridiculous.
manager, right? When
He keeps doing it.
the thing with this manager, right, is every time
Joe.
we have to rotate. Let's say we have to play XYZ at right back or wherever. He always has to make 3 or 4 changes for some reason. Why?
Yeah.
Why can't he
Yeah,
just stick
why?
to the? Yeah, why can't he just stick to the one change?
Because he
Right
overthinks.
back. Why do you have to bring Jorginho into midfield? I kind of understand the Moreno pick because we don't have anyone else in midfield, but just I guess stick with Partey, Rice, and Wineri, and then go Martinelli on the right, Trossard on the left, and Jesus up top. Simple. But no, Arteta doesn't do simplicity over here. He just doesn't because he thinks he's fucking Pep Guardiola. Honestly, and the time wasting is really starting to cheese me off as well.
Joe.
Players rolling around on the pitch. Gabriel rolling around on the pitch all the time. Jesus rolling around on the fucking pitch. Get up.
That irritates me in every single game. Every single
you're being
club.
paid
That's the
$200
point, though.
million
That's the
a
point.
week. Get the fuck up. Sorry.
It's that Timber got suspended for the
stand
same
those
thing, right? Wasting time, and we're doing the same thing the following game. Like, do we not learn?
Don't.
I mean, I waited
So true,
5
yeah.
years for us to win a
Yeah,
trophy. I didn't wait 5 years for us to take a fucking throw in. Honestly. Nah, this is no
I'm
joke,
with you on the
man.
time wasting, Rory. 100% with you.
It's so
annoying.
frustrating.
And who's to blame
Can
for that, Tom?
Can I ask you guys a question? Because, like I said, I've only been able to watch the Prem since, probably the last 10 years now. Yeah. So Posh, I'm kind of a virgin. But would any other team give as much money?
I wouldn't give this manager another penny, to be honest.
That's what I'm asking. Would any other team stay with somebody for 5 years and give them this amount of money on an
I'm going to say this
inexperienced?
now. I think he would have been sacked when we were 15th 3 years
If
ago.
he was sacked then, he would have had no complaints.
No, he wouldn't have had any complaints.
He needs to leave. He needs to realize he's not bigger than the club.
Yeah.
When you sit there and people stand up, you say something bad about Arteta, it's like, how could you say such a thing about Arsenal? It's not about Arsenal. It's about Arteta and his flaws. But somehow with the PR and all the bullshit, it's all mixed everybody together. Like, I think he needs to leave before he destroys what he's built. My honest opinion.
I've already said, like, I'm giving him until the end of the season. If we don't win anything, then he can go as far as I'm concerned. But yeah,
we better start looking behind us because there's a lot of teams that are close.
Nottingham Forest.
That can knock us out of the top 4.
Exactly. And this is what happens when people accept this. Teams will overtake us.
And if we're going to play this way the rest of the year, we're not going to finish top 4. There's no way. We're not competitive.
I think we will finish top 4, but we are not a title-ready team.
I'm telling you, this month is make or break.
I said that last. We'll find a lot out about Arteta and this club in January.
I mean, this month not ready.
How much they want a league title.
We've got a top 4 manager in the top 4 squad. That's the reality.
It's not good enough, especially it's meant to be in phase 5.
I don't even know if Arteta's a top 4 manager, to be honest.
I don't think he is.
I don't think this attack is even top 4 worthy as well.
I think tactically he's terrible, and a lot of these
you've got one of the worst attacks in the league at the moment.
A lot of these managers, they know what he's going to do, and they beat him.
Because where's the service? Oh yeah, 3 older midfielders. Didn't he learn against Bournemouth away? Oh no, because this season, for some reason, doesn't want to learn from his mistakes.
Never.
We have been praising him.
Or admit he's wrong.
No.
He's never admitted he's wrong once.
And this is one thing.
He, along with the media, Arteta, like the media totally is with Arteta. Oh, let's blame the referees. Let's blame the injuries. Let's blame. How about you look at yourself? How about you look at yourself as a man, Arteta, and be honest with yourself and know you're
I said ages ago, he never takes responsibility for a loss.
That's
He's always
what men do.
blaming individuals, isn't he? Like, how many times did he blame Martinelli this season?
Yep. He blames
He's
players. Like,
blaming
if that
individually.
shit happened in the NFL or an American sport, if a coach blamed a player, they'd be gone. They'd be gone.
This happened at Real Madrid, you're out. Job's on the line if you win on this.
Yeah,
Just real quickly, I mean, I absolutely agree. If you get to the end of a season, I agree. A, I agree this month pivotal, and B, I agree. If the end of a season we don't win anything, he can't complain if he loses his job. Absolutely, he can't. I don't actually think Arsenal will sack him, but I don't. But I think they should genuinely be looking at it because Cooper is right, and I would agree that no one is bigger than the club. I also would agree that
that's 100% right, BX Gunner.
Yeah. You always shoehorn players in. Like, you look at that midfield three and you go, good players individually. But as a unit, it's like they've never met each other before.
Doesn't work.
Right? Declan Rice, right? We all love Declan Rice, right? But we splashed over £100 million on him, and this manager does not have a position for him. Is he a 6? Is he an 8? Is he a 10? Where was he playing on Saturday? Where was he playing?
He was all over the place.
Honestly.
How about
I think you're supposed to be the right 8.
How can you have the best 6 in the league last season, team of the season? I think he came second in player of the season. I think Erdegaard won it, didn't he?
Yeah.
But yeah, team of the season, best 6 in the league alongside Rodri.
Yeah.
And the guy's playing him as like a Steven Gerrard or a Frank Lampard. What's going on?
I think he's a 6, but actually he did play quite a lot last season as an 8. On Saturday.
Towards the end of the year, he did.
Yeah, he did. Once we switched from Havertz out, he came in.
Emery.
What I do think though is on Saturday I can live with that midfield because I don't think there was a lot of options on Saturday for us to choose from. Given
you could have put Lewis Skelly in the 8.
But I think Lewis Skelly was being rested for Tuesday because he's still a young lad. But I would have gone Zinchenko in 8 just to add some creativity. That's what I think he could have done. But he's never done it before, and it was never going to happen, right? But again, you are right. That shouldn't be a midfield that we have there. It doesn't work, and it can't. It shouldn't be there. But and I agree with Cooper that if at the end of the season and Rory that Arteta, if he loses his job, he can't complain at all. But I do think that this is. I genuinely believe this, and it may not. It may not happen. In fact, it's looking like it won't happen this season. I do believe that this is a squad that is capable of winning the league. I look at what it did in 2024, and it showed that it can put together.
It's not the same squad.
This is where I disagree. We're not quite a winning team.
Well,
I'm sorry.
Well, that's what. No. Just let me finish, and then feel free to do. I think it shows it can do it. Right. If you look at 2024, and look. I want to be really clear. You don't win a total over a calendar year. You win it over a season, which is over, two bits of a calendar year. But it did show that it got the most points. It did show that it got the most goals or second most goals. And it did show it's the best of it. It shows it can do it. But what he has to do is put it together in a season. And he is not. I do think there are genuine mitigating circumstances this season. But that doesn't detract from, I want to be really clear here. It doesn't detract from the fact the manager has made mistakes and he needs to correct them. And he needs to correct them fast. And most of those come into the way we attack, rather than anything else. All of those are true. And that is why come the end of 24-25 season, because it's not a calendar year, it is a season that you get it over. He can't complain if he does lose his job if we haven't won anything. He can't complain. There's
Any
no
other
question.
manager would have lost their job now.
Yeah. At my local club, Ebbsfleet, we are shocking. We're the worst team in England. They've sacked 2 managers.
Right, because they.
Is that improving things, Posh? No, I'm joking.
What phase were they in?
What phase
are they in? What do you mean? What phase are they in? They're bottom of the league.
No, when they sacked a manager.
They know they need to make a change up top, right? Posh, they know they need to make a change.
They need to make about 100 changes, but this isn't an Ebbsfleet. This is not an Ebbsfleet channel. Let's not
win or out.
Guys,
go
on.
Wait, what were you going to say, Josh?
I think we're going to discuss the penalty because.
Oh yeah, I was going to say.
Mate, let's just quickly talk about the penalty. Rory, you start us off, mate. Talk to us about that, and then we'll go around the panel.
Tell you what, Josh. I might have to have my moment,
Shocking decision.
One punch for Anthony Taylor, 1 punch for the VAR, One punch for the PGMOL and one punch of justice for Win the Dog because you're not getting any fucking dinner tonight. I can't figure out what's worse. The English referees or our attack at the moment. Can you figure out what's worse?
They are terrible. I can't. I couldn't tell you. They're
embarrassing. They're enjoying this. They're ruining this beautiful game. They are ruining.
I mean, these English refs, right? In this country, they could be bald. They could have hair. They could have a mustache. They could have a tail for all I care. They're all fucking shit.
They are.
Yeah, they're all shit. Right? Can someone tell me? Explain to me how a clash of heads is now a penalty.
I don't know.
Well, we're about to get 10 extra free kicks or penalties a game if it is.
Exactly. You will never see a decision like that again. You won't.
Like we didn't see the same red card that Declan Rice.
No, we didn't. And now they've cut down on those rules. Now they've cut it down.
Yeah, Dave, it should be Gabriel.
Now. I'm going to see half of that going on.
Posh, what did you make of the penalty? I'll just quickly take over hosting while Josh is having a wee.
Well,
no evidence he's having a wee, by the way. I made that up for anyone watching.
On that note, as I said on Gooner Gathering yesterday, cheap plug for our channel, it was definitely not a penalty. It was probably one of the worst decisions I've ever seen, and it should not have been a penalty, full stop. But what I'm not going to do is do what most of some of the fans I've been seeing do when we drop points every time, which is blame the ref for every time we drop points.
No, definitely not.
The ref's not to blame.
It never seems to be the fault of our players, according to some of our online fans, when we drop points. Is it Anthony Taylor's fault that we had only one shot in the second half? No, of course not. Is it Anthony Taylor's fault that we spent the majority of the game constantly time wasting? No. So I'm not going to use this shocking penalty decision as the sole reason why we drop points. But I do agree it was a terrible penalty decision.
This is why I said you needed to kill the game off. We needed to kill the game off early because of things like this. You're always going to leave yourself open for things like this.
Yeah, but on a real note, right? Like, let me just ask the rest of the panel.
We all know the refs are poor.
Considering the circumstances and the fact we played Brentford midweek.
100%.
Yeah, exactly. But back onto my point, right? Considering the circumstances of us playing midweek against Brentford and the fact we had illnesses, injuries, etc., would you have taken a 1-0 victory against Brighton away from them, out of curiosity?
Yeah, 100%.
100%. Any win I take.
How badly we played, there's no denying that, it would have ended 1-0, I'd say, because no one looked like scoring. I would still have come out after the game and said, shit performance, we didn't deserve to win, but Brighton were more shocking, I'd say, because they did not.
Brighton didn't play well.
Although I'd say Brighton had great opportunities.
They had players in that team I'd never heard of, bossing our midfield, for crying out loud.
Who? Carlos Baleba?
Never heard of those players.
You must have heard of Baleba.
No.
Oh my god,
mate! Really?
He's
been superb this season.
I don't think so.
Baleba has been excellent this season.
Yeah.
There's talk of him going to us, Man City, Liverpool. There's talk of him going to a big side this season. Baleba has been fantastic.
It won't be us.
No, probably not. But
not Baleba, not Ari, not Granda. No. Adingra I'd heard of. João Pedro I heard of.
I'm going to say something I never thought I'd say, especially in person, especially to like the world. But I miss Granit Xhaka.
Yeah, I agree.
I think if we have him in our side now,
I spent years bitching about him, but I miss him. He had leadership, in that midfield. Everything went. I miss him because we haven't replaced him.
Yeah,
I agree. We haven't found the right replacement for him. I think
we tried to replace him with Kai. See,
sorry, Dom.
I said we haven't replaced Granit Xhaka because ultimately Moreno will be a squad player, so we still haven't replaced Granit Xhaka.
Okay, fair enough.
I got why we sold him, by the way, because he had one good year out of 5, was it, with us?
We probably wanted to move on.
He wanted to move on. We wanted to move on. He had one good season. Like it's what I call a career year, but he has been very good in Leverkusen, so I got why we sold him. But I agree with you, Cooper. We do miss him.
Yeah, Also, back onto the penalty, right? And I hate talking about referees because honestly, they're just so annoying. I'd much rather come out and say, you know what, performance is crap, but no controversy whatsoever. But I keep hearing this gimmick about, what happens if, let's say,
Well, honey.
say again.
Oh, sorry. I was talking to my wife. I didn't mean to call you honey.
Hey, Cooper, I thought you were taking me out on a date later. I thought we were going to...
If there wasn't that big pond between us.
But let's say, but I've literally been hearing this all like throughout my timeline on Twitter. I've been hearing, but what happens if you wipe someone out with your foot? Is that the same as headbutting someone? Well, I'm sorry, but you're attempting a tackle with your foot.
It wasn't even it was nowhere near a headbutt.
Right? You're not going to attempt to tackle with your head, are you?
It's not a headbutt.
Please,
was
use this for once.
Yeah.
And the ball came off of Saliba's head, too.
Exactly.
No. Dermot Gallagher's been... By the way, this is sarcasm alert. Dermot Gallagher's been really clear.
Oh, my God.
All hit him.
Oh, no.
Where's the note that you had, Dom? For
Yes.
when I video? Where was it?
Sarcasm.
There it is. Hey.
Oh.
It says
I was being sarcastic. For
Shitty
context here, Cooper, you might not have seen this. We have a half-hour propaganda show on Sky for refs, where the former referees break down why the referee was absolutely right on every single decision ever.
Of course.
And yesterday, a former referee who I actually quite liked as a referee, I thought he was a quite good referee, Dermot Gallagher. Dermot Gallagher, when he was a ref,
got Saliba.
The ball got Saliba rather than Saliba got the ball.
Is this a silly old ref watch?
Yes,
Oh, right. Well, the things have got worse ever since it was been brought in. Right. It's all got worse ever since they brought it all in.
Yeah.
That's all they'll do. All they'll do is they'll stick up for their friends. That's all they'll do.
Yeah, that rounded object that we could definitely target.
Remember Michael Oliver? Remember that rubbish they came out with last year when we played City? Remember that rubbish that Howard Webb came out with? Oh, he doesn't want to have a negative impact on the game.
I'm sorry, Jez, but that is completely different. If that wasn't the pen, how was the pen given against Gabriel from Fabianski? That is a punch.
He actually hits his head. Exactly, he hits his head.
50-50 in the air. What are you on about?
Exactly. Fabianski, really quickly, has punched Gabriel in the head, and that punch has come...
He literally punched him in the head. That was just two people going for one ball.
In some ways, it's not different. The difference there was the fact that Fabianski has punched Gabriel way after Gabriel has headed the ball, as opposed to Saliba and I can't think who João Pedro. There must be 0.2 of a second between the two, which means they're both heading the ball. If that's a penalty, then I gave away a penalty last time I played because we collided heads in the penalty area. Oh, and I would have won 2 free kicks when I have won the free header. Look, it's exactly. So I think my view on the penalty here, firstly, I just want to pick up on a point Bertie made because he's absolutely right. That doesn't detract from the poor performance. I also think that the decisions in the 2 Brighton games were massive turning points in the game and probably were 4 points. It doesn't detract from the poor performance.
The Rice one, yes, but not so much this one. This one we were all for. The Rice one, if that hadn't happened, we win that game.
Well,
we win that game. But this one, I disagree.
I
weren't playing well before then.
The point I was going to make was...
I don't think Brighton did anywhere enough to win the game anyway. I don't think they did anything.
Overall, a point was a fair result on Saturday, right? Yeah. No question. But there is an argument that I don't think Brighton score without the penalty, and therefore you could make an argument it's 4 points. But it doesn't detract from the poor performance that we put in that game at all. And Bertie is absolutely right there. I think on the penalty, Anthony Taylor, in the moment, I can see why he gives that penalty, okay? Because João Pedro goes down like he's been shot and Saliba stands up and walks away. So it probably looks like Saliba has headed him rather than the ball. Where I do think that there was a real issue here, look, VAR should be for clear and obvious mistakes.
I think they've gone to the monitor for it.
3 seconds.
Yeah. Exactly. VAR should have sent him to the monitor and said, Anthony...
They don't do that anymore. They don't do that anymore. This is a problem.
Well, exactly. They should have
VAR checked it and gave it.
Well, VAR checked it in about 4 seconds.
That's literally what I'm saying. It's like the Italian league.
I mean, I'm all for VAR doing it
Don't
quicker.
let Josh hear that.
I'm all for VAR doing it quicker, but that was a 4 or 5 second check. That wasn't enough to look at that. I'm sorry, it wasn't. Absolutely not. My issue is when we're 4 minutes trying to work out if there's a toenail offside or something like that. That's not a clear and obvious error. Let the decision stand. This one was a 5 second check. Now, I'm not going to blame the referee, on-field referee, but VAR should have sent him and said, Anthony, we understand why you made the decision, but you might want to have another look because there is 0.2 of a second between the two. I don't know exactly what it is, but it won't be far off. That is a coming together of heads. And it happens 4 or 5 times a game. It's why I'm going to go to the other end of the pitch here and Matt O'Reilly. Now, and this was in the one where Moreno missed the header because Gabriel Jesus gets in his way.
Come here.
But before that, Gabriel, is actually grabbed around the middle by Matt O'Reilly. So actually that could arguably be a penalty. What I wouldn't give a penalty for was when Gabriel trips over Matt O'Reilly's trailing foot. Matt O'Reilly falls over and Gabriel falls over. Matt O'Reilly's fallen over. That's a genuine coming together. Hi, guys. Hey, how are you?
Say hi, boys.
Hey, boys.
Hi, Eve.
Eve, I've not been called a boy for some time, so I really, really like you for saying that. But just really quickly, there shouldn't have been a penalty for the accidental trip on Gabriel by Matt O'Reilly. But if you're giving Saliba one at the other end, then you have to go and give the Gabriel one, surely. You know.
Yeah.
To be clear, it doesn't detract from the result, and I'm not going to blame the on-field official for that.
Also, if that's a penalty, then why wasn't the Kulusevski and Gordon penalty not
right?
given?
Exactly.
Exactly.
And to be clear, it shouldn't have been given.
And for all of these in the chat that say
given.
you can wind back to the start of the podcast where we were literally criticising our own team for our performance. You can criticise the performance and criticise the refereeing at the same time. I just thought I'd let you know.
Yeah. Which is why I keep re-emphasising. It's why I keep re-emphasising that point.
Joined in very late. Everyone is saying that you've probably just joined in.
Yeah, and I keep hearing that. He headbutted him.
No, he didn't.
Headbutt him.
What Zidane did was a headbutt. Not.
But hang on. Well, if it is
going for one ball.
If it is a headbutt, which it isn't, then
that's 2 people going for one ball. That's not.
Also, should João Pedro be playing?
Zidane was a headbutt.
Also, should João Pedro be playing anyway?
No,
he'll be banned.
The other day for that elbow. No.
Yeah, exactly. But
not.
Josh, this is why I said on your preview that I hate João Pedro as a person.
He's a shit house, ain't he, mate? He's a proper shit.
He's like Diego Costa.
Yeah.
He's a type of player. If he's on your team,
hard man.
If he's on your team, you love him, right? If he's not on your team, you hate him. But
he's there, Ben White.
Yeah, quite.
There was another one.
But we need that at Arsenal.
All the way in the road.
We need a player like that.
You do need a player like that. I agree.
You do. I wish we had some of that.
If that is a headbutt, by the way, then Saliba gets sent off, surely.
Yep, and João Pedro should have been off then. Look how quick. Look how quick he got up and took the penalty as well.
Exactly. As soon as they gave the penalty, he got up quickly. Before then, he was rolling around like a fish or something. Rolling.
Yeah, I know. Exactly what I said.
Ironically,
he got up as soon as they gave a pen. Quick, go and take in.
Ironically, the one time we didn't roll around and time waste was the Saliba penalty.
No shit.
Yeah, mad. Absolutely mad.
But yeah, I mean, look, it doesn't detract from the performance, as we've all said, just for anyone joining late. Just to be really clear, we've all said that.
Guys, let's move on, obviously, to tomorrow's game. Massive game, cup match, semi-final as well. First leg, Emirates against Newcastle. For me, I say it straight away, man. We need to get at least a 2-goal deficit, in my opinion. Going into
deficit?
2-0 win.
Lead. Like
2-0 scored too quick.
2-0 lead. We know what you meant. Yeah.
So
was it deficit as in like?
I thought you meant we needed to lose the game. So
deficit means
it's probably going to happen.
We get fish to fry, guys.
Like we need to score at least 2 goals for me.
Yeah, take a 2-goal lead. Yeah, it's all right. I'm with you. When you said deficit, I was like, shit, no, we definitely can't go.
In the second leg.
But listen, like for me, because the second leg at St James's Park is going to be very, very tough. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I swear we've had like 2 shots on target in 2 years against them. St James's Park.
That's St James's
Park. You're not with any creativity.
Oh, and do you know what it is? Like, I think Newcastle do you remember when they played the 0-0 game against us at the Emirates?
Yeah.
You know how we was flying that season as well. Like,
they literally
did that.
Part of us.
But look, but don't you see everyone else doing that now? What Newcastle did.
You have to give the next 2 legs. That's a good point.
And the ball was actually off the pitch more times than it was on it that day.
That's what that's what I kind of see them doing tomorrow, to be honest.
Oh yeah,
because they realistically, I mean, they'll be happy with.
They'll take a point
earlier. Exactly, they'll be happy with a draw because they go back St. James's.
They'll be coming into the game to win, but they'll take a point. It's like
of course, because then they go back second leg. And they already saw what happened this season when we lost 1-0 to them. We was awful.
They'll be coming for the win, but they'll take a point. That's what.
That's what I'm saying. So
they'll sit back.
Also, I mean, I know we obviously got illness. I know we've got injuries, but they've got
that back, honey.
They got Cooper every single time, man. But
sorry.
You're good, man. You're good. But they got Bruno. He's out suspended, ain't he?
And Fabian
Exactly, that's big for them.
Sorry, really quickly, Josh. Sorry, really quickly. We've got Shaw out and Bruno out suspended, and Sven Botman is a huge doubt. But I suspect Anthony Gordon.
I mean, he was playing though. He was playing against Tottenham, wasn't he?
But he also got he apparently had a reaction after the game.
No, not second yellow. He got a yellow that made him suspended or something.
No, he's not suspended. He apparently had a bit of a reaction after the game. I think Anthony Gordon will be fit, who they're also saying is a major doubt. I wouldn't be shocked to see Botman play, but apparently he has had
I thought he picked up a 5th yellow card or something.
Not that I'm aware of. I think it's just a 2 that are suspended.
Does that carry on into?
Is Bruno playing?
It does.
He's out. Yeah, he's out. He's out.
Bruno's definitely out. Yeah, and
their midfield's still better than ours.
I mean, they got like
the moment,
Joe Willock as well, our ex-player, to be fair.
Yep.
He's most likely going to start.
Good sale.
Donali, as I said.
We could have done with Joe Willock.
Joe Linton as well.
We could have done.
Bruno and John Linton. That's actually cooking. That's cooking.
Yeah, it's a good midfield, man. And overall, I mean, they're flying right now. They're currently 5th place. They've built some really good form recently. Obviously, they beat Chelsea and Brentford to obviously get to semi-finals as well. Two decent sides this season. So, it's going to be a very, very tough game. Of course, we have to get the job done in this first leg for me. Get a very, very good win going into that second leg. If we don't, I think we could be in trouble, people. And I think this is a trophy that I think we can win it for sure. It's a chance to go and win a cup this season. And I'm saying, go for the double. If we can't get the league this season, which I personally think is so unlikely, go and win the cup double, man. Go for the FA Cup and Carabao Cup. It's 2 trophies, it's a double. At least we've been winning trophies this season. What I don't want is, and I kind of look at it this way, guys, as well. Like this week, I know we still got a second leg, but it could honestly be kind of season defining because. We got the FA Cup on Saturday as well. Sunday.
And we got the North London derby. Yeah,
and North London derby.
It is definitely a season defining
week. It's got to be for me.
Trust me, it is.
But I'll come to you first, Posh, for this one. Obviously, Newcastle tomorrow night. How are you feeling for it, man? And also, if you could give your lineup that you want to go with as well.
Well, I'd have been a bit more, slightly more confident if Wanyeri was fit. But as you said, I do agree with you. We have to finish the job in the first leg because St James's Park is going to be. It's always been a difficult place to go for us, putting that politely. But if we get the job done in the first leg, that's when I'll take a stinky time-wasting 0-0 in St James's Park because it means we get to the final. My lineup would be Raya in goal. Obviously, we've got Timber back, so he'd be right back. Saliba, Gabriel at centre back. Lewis Skelly would be at left back. I'd put Partey back into midfield. Maybe. I think I'd go for like a 4-2-3-1, Partey and Rice as the 2 defensive midfielders. Providing he's fit, Odegaard as the attacking midfielder. He was pictured in training, so hopefully that does mean he's fit. It's going to have to be Martinelli and Trossard on the wings because what else can you have? Saka and Wanyeri are out. And probably Jesus up front. That's what we have to... what we've got attacking wise anyway. But as we
Who's
said,
your front three? I'm sorry.
pardon?
Who's your front three? I'm sorry, I didn't hear it.
Well, because Saka and Nwaneri are both out, it's going to probably have to be Martinelli and Trossard on the wings, and Odegaard as the attacking midfielder. It's going to have to be. We're so short in attack, and without making everyone go off on a tangent, what I will say is it's just funny how Arteta was saying we've got the thinnest squad in the league. If only there was some kind of transfer duration thing that would go on for 3 months in the summer and 1 month in the winter. Just saying, just an idea.
It's just January at Arsenal.
Anyway, no tangents. We have to finish the job tomorrow.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more, man. Yeah, absolutely spot on there.
Nervous though, right?
Yeah,
for sure. Too. And I ain't really. I'll be honest. I ain't really confident for tomorrow, but I think we'll get the job done. But I just don't. Just the way we've been playing, like against Newcastle side, that they're physical. They're gonna make it frustrating for us, man. They're well organised. Eddie Howe's got well organised. They're gonna come and frustrate us, and the way similar how we played against Ipswich, man, that doesn't give me that confidence that we can really break them down. But listen, let's prove. Hopefully we prove wrong, people. I'll come to Cooper. Talk to me about tomorrow's game, man. Obviously, mate, semi-finals. Let's go win this cup, Cooper, man. Let's go all the way. But
I hope we do win. I pray. I've been, I pray that everybody gets healthy really quick, and we can do our thing. But, and I just want to say, I just want to say again, thank you to all you guys. I love talking to you guys. I respect everything you guys say. And, the community, thank you for, even when I'm not, most of the time I'm not on screen, but thank you for, Drew for keeping me laughing, Jack for keeping me laughing, Taki, Jesus. That boy is crazy.
Also, Cooper.
But I like Taki, man, but he just talks a little bit, and he shouldn't cry on camera.
Cooper, real quick, congratulations on your Oscar, because I assume this is your Oscar speech. Sorry,
they're handing him out. You don't have to have any talent to get the shit anymore.
True. Sorry, I couldn't resist that little joke. Sorry.
No, I think we'll all agree on the back four. I think Miles Lewis-Skelly will get the start. I think it'll be Gabriel and Saliba. Timber will be back, thank God. Midfield, Party in the 6. Maybe double pivot with Rice, and then maybe Odegaard would have more room to wander on both sides, right? And again, man, we're scrimping the barrel to get, we're scrimping the barrel up front. Martinelli on the right, even though he shit at the right, but he shit on the left too.
It worked against Palace. We just got to pray that it works against Newcastle, but that's just saying a lot.
Yeah, but who do you put out on the wing if Jesus doesn't play?
I think it was Sterling actually who played on the right, but obviously he's injured, so he's not really available.
Right, but Gabby, so we have to put Jesus or Havertz up front, depending upon Kai. I've never known such a guy. Oh, I'm sick. I don't get these players. I really don't. Maybe it's generational for me. Yeah, because I'm in my 50s and you just didn't bitch or complain or anything. When you played sports, you don't roll around in the ground and do all this shit. But unfortunately, we're going to get pushed all over the place. I really do. Physically, I think you're going to see a lot of Jesus rolling around on the ground per usual. I think you're going to see Odegaard rolling around on the ground as usual. And it sucks because we can't even, Odegaard's not healthy, but we don't even have anybody to put in.
That's why we need Party in the 6. That's why we need Party.
Right, that's why we need Party in the 6, right? But I don't want to say start Trossard because he was horrible in the last match.
What about Marquinhos, guys? I swear we recalled this guy back.
Yeah, let's call him back. I heard he's. I heard he's playing in, third tier United States League.
I forgot.
If there's such a
existed,
thing,
to be
I don't
honest.
know.
Is he not back? Seb will know this.
He is back. He is back.
He's
Yes,
back.
he is. He's been recalled this month.
Well,
Well,
maybe
he's not been recalled. His loan spell ended.
Yeah, his loan spell expires this month. It was January.
I think,
last year to January this year.
I think Sago Jr. has been recalled as well.
He has, yeah. He's going to start on the right on.
So up front, literally, like, what do we have that's going to scare anybody? Do we play Havertz in the front? Do we play Havertz up front and
I'll play
Jesus on the
Martinelli
right?
down the middle.
Havertz might
I
not be
would love
ready.
to put Martinelli,
Yeah.
but he's not going to do it.
I
No.
will.
And it's just like Lewis Skelly, put him in the 8. It's his position. If he's shining at left back, see what he does in the 8.
Ozinchenko.
I just don't understand this manager. I don't get it. When things are working, he just stops and breaks it all up. Like you said, Rory, before. He doesn't just make one substitute. He makes like 5 substitutes. And then we all shake our heads and go, what the fuck is it going? We all knew
it's
when
the
we
same
saw
stuff
that.
every week.
We all knew when we saw that midfield before the Brighton game. We were like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, I mean, me and Seb have said for ages that he just does not trust his starting 11.
No. And it's his style.
He doesn't move players about or anything like that.
He doesn't trust his squad players rather than his starting 11.
But I don't think he trusts his players. They're too robotic. They're not. They're not
He never
enjoying
has.
themselves.
He's made them robotic.
Right. And they don't. I don't think they. That's why Saliba and Saka will leave. Honestly.
Yeah.
I think we
Who the
might
fuck
get away
wants
with
to play
Saka
for-
staying.
Who
Who
Leeds
wants to
anyway.
play for a manager where you can't show off your talent?
I think we'll get away with Saka, but Saliba, no.
If we don't win anything, he's going Madrid next season.
I think Saliba will leave.
This is what.
Scenario.
Yeah,
Right,
well, you
and
see,
then-
this
and
is
then-
why I keep banging on saying we've got to do something. We've got to win
Now-
because I worry about it. So
Yeah, so do I.
this is
So do I.
why.
We all agree with you, Seb, on that one. I think Saliba will leave
that's
even
what
if
I'm
we
feeling
do.
as well. Like,
He
I-
will go. If Real
I
Madrid
think-
come in for him, he's gone.
I think
I
Saliba
think-
will leave.
Yeah,
Saliba will leave in any scenario. I think Saliba will go to Real Madrid in
Not
any scenario.
Not if we were winning.
If
I
we,
think-
if
no,
we
I think
win,
he
I
will.
reckon he'll stay a bit longer.
No,
Yes,
I
I
would.
agree.
Oh,
If
maybe
we
a bit
want
longer, but
something-
he will go to. He will.
I
go to-
agree. He'll
I
stay
think-
for a bit longer if we win, but if we
I
don't,
think
bye-bye.
we will play for a draw tomorrow.
Oh.
Do you think we?
no,
at Emirates-
Newcastle will.
Absolutely.
Newcastle will, though.
At Newcastle, with Newcastle, yes. Because we can't do anything. Who's going to score?
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
problem, man.
What's our midfield going to be? You think our midfield's going to boss?
Nah, not when they have Tonali and all them.
You know. And then there's a little guy. There's an Isak. You might have heard him.
Oh,
He's-
if we stop
he's-
Kivy or
he's
oh,
flying.
Our
right
scouts don't, apparently.
I know. I know. Not
if
for
we
40
stop
mil. Too
Kiwi against
expensive.
Isak, I'm not turning up for my watch along on Tuesday.
Too expensive. Too expensive for Arsenal at 40 mil, right? And I don't know. I think, and I'm going to keep saying this, but he needs to go. I've not seen, it's been a total waste of money. And Josh, did you see that thing I sent you on Instagram? Like the
whole squad of Arteta.
Yeah, per position,
Mm.
right? There were 30, I think 31 players on that.
Yeah, yeah.
And you look at that and tell me how many. I found that on the Atlantic today, on Twitter. It shows all of Arteta's signings, and you'd be shocked at the amount of money he's spent and the players he's brought in. And you can count on like 7 or 8 players that are actually good players that were good signings, if you're honest.
Yep, facts, bro. We'll do predictions towards the end, guys. Let me come to. I'll come to you next, Dom, mate. Obviously, big games from our semi-finals. How are you expecting it to go, man? And if you, I know we've got injuries and illness, but if you could give like a lineup as well.
I'll try on the lineup. I mean, it's impossible to predict. I mean,
that's all of our problems, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I think just on the game, people said it before, so I'll be really quick on that. Newcastle are going to come to try and hit something on the break. They're going to come low block. They know Arsenal struggle to break that down. They are very good defensively. They're going to be physical. They're going to be strong. And they're also going to know that Arsenal are suffering from fatigue, particularly with the ill players. So they're going to come and they're going to try every trick in the book. And there is going to be, to Cooper's point, there's going to be a lot of rolling around from both sides. I think that's a football thing, and I absolutely hate it. I really do. It's not just Arsenal; it's all the players. It's been that way for about 20 years. It drives me mad. I've coached a youth team, and I had 6-year-old boys copying it, and I used to sub them. I was like, "Well, you're hurt," and they're like, "No, I'm not." I'm like, "Well, you're rolling around like you're hurt," and they're like, "No, I'm not hurt." I was like, "Well, stop copying." But they're doing it. You can't blame them. But, it was the only way I could get, so that really frustrates me. But that's a general football thing. But yeah, it's going to be a really physical game. I am genuinely concerned about that game tomorrow. Partly because of our performances. Our form isn't horrific, by the way, in terms of results. It's not horrific. It's not brilliant, but it's not horrific. But our performance obviously haven't been there. But I am genuinely concerned about the fact that reportedly 7 or 8 players were able to train today. As in, not missing, were able to train. That is 7 or 8 out of 24. That is and that, I've triple checked that quote. Now, again, I say this every week. You have to take what Arteta says, and he's not the only manager, with a bit of a pinch of salt. However, we do know there are injuries and we do know there are illness. And if it is genuinely 7 or 8 players who are fit to train, God knows what physical state that side is going to be in tomorrow. We saw, regardless of the performance, you just saw Martinelli and Odegaard just looked so off it on Saturday. They shouldn't have been there. They looked unfit to be there. They just weren't well. And if that has gone further through the squad, and Havertz has been ill for a week, and this is a player that hasn't missed many games for Arsenal, if any at all, through injury, that is a genuine concern about what side we put out tomorrow. That is what worries me. That coupled with our form in terms of performances against a Newcastle side banging form, who are going to come, they'll take 0-0 tomorrow. 0-0, I think, to your point at the start.
A win for them.
Yeah, but if I was away from home and I'm Arsenal in a 2-legged tie, I'd take a 0-0 too at St James's Park and bring it back to the Emirates.
Yeah,
right?
and then we're going to Emirates. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I'm not going to fault them or blame them for that. That's what, you go, you keep it tight, you keep yourself in the game in the first leg when you're away and try and win it in the second leg. Arsenal at home, we have to go and do it in reverse. And I think you're right. We have to take a lead, preferably 2-0 or more, and to St James. And the key is going to be scoring first and scoring early. I think because what we do need to see tomorrow from the crowd is we need to see them bang behind the team, and I think they will be. But the players are going to need the energy from the crowd tomorrow. And the longer it goes at 0-0, or worse, if we go behind, the harder that's going to be, because that energy could turn negative quite quickly. And I'm not having a go at the crowd, by the way, for that. I'm just saying the players are going to need the crowd tomorrow. I can understand why they might turn tomorrow if we do go behind or we're struggling, because this is such a huge game, such an important game for us, because it is imperative we win something. In terms of a lineup, I think it'll be Setford in goal. No, joking. Raya in goal.
A 16-year-old.
Can I just interrupt for a second? Can I just interrupt for a second? I'm sorry.
Of course you can. Yeah, go for it.
No, AFC always. I just saw your response or your question. Yes, I'm an American. Yes, I know that the Crockies don't put any money into Arsenal Football Club.
This one, Cooper.
Yeah. To Cooper, you're an American. If not, my apologies. Look at how many trophies the Crockies have won in American sports compared to our club, Arsenal. It's a cash cow. It's true. I said it last week. I said, it's amazing to me that the Crockies don't put their money into Arsenal. It's a much bigger team than any of the teams in America that they own are. I mean, it's a worldwide name, so I don't understand why. But you're right; they use it as a cash cow. How much merch do they drop after draws? But anyways, I got to get running, guys. Thank you very much for having me as usual. Thanks for putting up with
Cooper,
me.
big up, man! Every single time, my brother.
See you next week, mate.
All right, and I just want to say hi to my brother-in-law, Brian. Love you, man.
Is he watching the show?
Yeah, he watched the last one. He's an Everton fan.
Big up! Big up to him, man. Big up to him.
And we all feel for him being an Everton fan.
We were discussing it over Christmas, but it's getting a little crazy around here. So I gotta
understand, man. Come on.
I gotta go, Dad.
Yeah, I understand.
Take care, mate.
All right,
Take care,
later,
Cooper,
guys.
bro.
Thank
Legend,
you.
bro.
Appreciate.
See you soon. Take care, man. Big up Cooper, man, every single time. But yeah, Dom, as you were saying, I think your lineup, right?
Yeah, lineup. So Raya, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, MLS. I think Partey and Rice in midfield, but it would shock me to see Moreno. But I think it's got to be those two. Assuming Rice is fit, 'cause he looked like he was struggling as well on Saturday. I think if Rice isn't fit, it's Moreno, but it's Partey and Rice, Odegaard, and then the front three's got to be the three that everyone said. I don't think there's any choice. If Kai Havertz is fit, I'd possibly bring him in for a bit of physicality over Jesus, but I'm not sure how fit he's going to be. Can I just make 2 points just to address a couple of things in the comments real quick?
Yeah, of course.
One, I think it is right that the Conkeys are taking money out of Arsenal. I do believe that. They're here to make money. But I think that's true of most owners, by the way. I also think it is disingenuous to say they haven't put money into Arsenal. I think they have put money in. I think the reason, but there are financial rules that do need to be kept to, and therefore you can't do that. If you look at Newcastle right now, they're in a position where they have to sell before they buy because their owners just spaff money in and now they're up against the rules. Chelsea having to sell before they buy every window. So I think it's a bit disingenuous to say they're not putting money in, but it is correct to say that they are taking money out of the club too. They are doing all the merchandise stuff to make money, but they're also business people. It's where football has changed beyond all recognition in the last 30 years since I first started watching it, where it's all about the money rather than about the product these days. So I'm not going to just call them out for that because I think it's true of almost every owner, but I think it is disingenuous to say they haven't put money in. That's not to say their ownership is faultless, but I think it's disingenuous to say that they're not putting money in. And lastly, AFC always asked me a specific question. I think it's wrong to say Arteta should never have got the job. I think the club has moved forward. It may well be beyond him, and we may need to move beyond him to finish off the job he started. That is a decision for the end of a season. And do I think City would want him? I don't know, is the honest answer. It depends on where City are and what Arteta does. I wouldn't be shocked to see him
take him.
I wouldn't be shocked to see him take him because he'd be a continuation of what they have now. But I think if there are other managers, and I can't think of one off the top of my head, but that's because it's late rather than because there isn't one. But I think they will want a similar manager to what Pep has now because they have a squad built for a specific purpose. Well, they have a squad built for a specific purpose, and Arteta managed in a similar way to Pep. There are probably other managers out there that can do it too. I just can't think of one because it's late. But I think it's wrong to say that Arteta shouldn't have been hired. The question is, can he get us to the end? We'll find out. I believe he can, but I don't think he's going to this season. I think I will be proved wrong at the end of the season that Arteta won't win the league this season when I said he would. But I believe he can, and I believe the squad can. I just don't think it will. Sorry, just to address a couple of questions.
No worries, of course. I'll go Rory next. Obviously, big games tomorrow, semi-final. How you feeling for it, man? And also, if you give your line to go with as well.
Yeah, I'm bricking it. I can't lie. Yeah, I honestly don't know what we're going to do going into this game with illnesses, injuries all over the place. We're dropping like flies. Newcastle are on form. Yes, they're missing 2 key players, but yeah, same time, we're missing players. And obviously, Arteta will find a way to somehow tinker the team like he always does in this competition. I mean, we've been saying throughout this whole month that he's got to rotate due to the amount of games we have coming up. But the real question is, who do you rotate? Who do you rotate with? Because apart from a couple of left backs we've got to rotate with, we can't rotate anyone in midfield. We can't rotate with anyone in attack. So how the fuck do we rotate? Right, against Brighton, we pretty much had... I'm pretty sure we had 3 centre-backs, 5 centre-mids, and then Jesus and Trossard. So that just shows how bad this rotation really is. And this Arsenal team, in terms of the lineup, I mean, I most definitely do not want to see the same lineup against Crystal Palace, because I reckon we will get slaughtered. And to some degree, I thought we actually got away with it against Crystal Palace. The performance wasn't brilliant, and we kind of did get bailed out by individual brilliance by Jesus. The team, though, honestly, I don't know. It can pick it itself at the moment. Obviously, Raya in goal, Timber at right back, Saliba, Gabriel, and then I'll go Lewis Skelly, and then midfield. We're probably going to have to go Partey, Rice, and then we literally don't have a creative midfielder, so we're going to have to play Mr. Maker in midfield. A bit of creativity in there because we literally have no one else. Then I'll go Mr. Tumble on the right. Left wing will go Martinelli, and then up front Gabriel Jesus. No, I'm joking. I think we're going to have to go Martinelli on the right, and then going to have to play Ødegaard. I don't think we've got any other option, if I'm being honest. So that's the team. Obviously, Winery's been playing every minute in this League Cup, but he's not going to be playing. So I don't know. I honestly don't know what we're going to do, how we're going to set up. I know exactly how Newcastle are going to set up, and that is they are going to play for a 0-0 because they know 2 legs, they can get something out of St. James's Park. So they'll be happy with a 0-0 draw. Arsenal need at least a 2 or 3 goal cushion to get through, in my opinion. And this is huge because at the end of the day, this is our only opportunity of winning a cup. And because it came to my attention that we're going to be wearing the all-white kit at the weekend against Man United in the FA Cup.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's pretty
Have
much...
we ever won in that kit?
Well, we perform so well in that kit, don't we?
Have we ever won in that kit?
No. We played against
Yeah, we
Liverpool.
beat Oxford once. Whoop-de-doo.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, Oxford, sorry. Yeah, but again...
By the way, I do like the messaging behind that, by the way. I think that's
Yeah.
done for absolutely the right reasons, but, you know.
Yeah.
But we do
We
play
never
like...
win in that kit. Well, once in 4 attempts.
Yeah. Josh, where did you go, by the way?
Sorry, I had to because I had another video uploaded and it cut me off. I had my Newcastle preview uploaded and then it cut me off.
Oh, right. Did you hear my lineup?
No, I didn't, mate.
He's got Mr. Tumble up front.
Yeah, Mr. Tumble on the right. We've got Mr. Maker in midfield to hopefully create things in midfield.
Mr. Maker settings.
We've got Mr. Krabs as well on the left-hand side. And
I think he's out with an STD, mate.
Oh.
And Donald Duck as well on the bench to throw on. So
yeah, mate.
We're going to win this fucking competition, mate.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, I am genuinely concerned about tomorrow. Like, genuinely.
Oh, if we play Kivior against Isak.
I mean, if you lot are concerned, I mean, Seb, how much you be feeling, mate?
Yeah, I'm very concerned as well.
Yeah.
Partly because of, like we said, of the form we're in, the way we're playing, the way they're playing. It's just different levels right now. But we've got to go with our full possible strongest team. If we don't, I'm going to be absolutely seething if we don't. And that does mean Rare in goal, Timber right back, Saliba, Gabriel centre back. And yes, I'd also go Lewis Skelly left back. And Partey, Rice and Ødegaard midfield. And then the front 3 picks itself, Martinelli, Trossard, Jesus. But the fact is, we're being stretched to the bare bones. But I think it's going to get nasty, like I said, if we don't win tomorrow. It's going to be horrible. Yeah. And I think this is a game where I agree, we have to, at the very least, win. Or yes, by 2 clear goals, because going to theirs, we just know how difficult that is. Like we've seen, especially the last couple of years and this season as well. So, I mean it, they better turn up and they better perform. And I do not want to be seeing any of this time wasting around 30, 40, 50 minutes. I don't want to be seeing any of that.
Or tinkering, sorry.
No, we've got to be going for it, because don't forget, this game is over 180 minutes. It's over that. Yeah. It's not over 90. It's over that. So They've really got to be on it. And trust me, this competition is so serious. It's so important we win this. So important.
Sure. There was a question I wanted to ask the panel before we do the predictions. But before I do that, there's a great question here from Enrique. Big up to you, Enrique. Do you think Arteta wants to sign in this window, but Kroenke doesn't want to release the funds? Bear in mind that Arteta's been backed by a lot of money. Or do you think Arteta doesn't want to sign anyone because he trusts his current squad? What do you guys think to that?
I think it's a mixture of both.
Bit of both.
I think it's a mixture of both. I generally think it's a mixture of both.
Yeah.
I don't. I am unsure on where the Kroenkes stand. I mean, a lot of reporters are saying that the transfer plan is set for the summer, which suggests Arteta is staying, rightly or wrongly. He looks like that's going to happen.
If we say this every summer, then what?
Well, but it doesn't mean that plan always comes off.
Then where are all these signings that we're meant to be getting? Where are they?
Seb, we are 6 days into the window.
Where are all these signings? No, and even in the summer, they come up with all this. Oh, we've got a long-standing list of signings in the summer. That's why we didn't do anything in January. Then we get to the summer. Where are they?
Seb, look, summer transfer window I said was poor, right? You heard me countless times saying that you can't have a go at the club for not signing any players when it's the 6th of January. You just can't. You just can't.
Look at the games we've got coming up, and look at the injuries we've got left, right, and centre.
But you're not going to get
anything done, man.
You're not going to get 3 or 4 players.
At least get one in. At least get one in the first week.
What?
I'm not saying get 4 in the first week. At least get one. They can be done.
It can't within 6 days. It can't.
Of course it can.
You think transfers are done by AI?
Pay the money.
You play a job for that, dude.
Yeah, Football Manager wouldn't even let that happen.
Pay the money, you get the player.
Well, not necessarily.
Yes, actually, it does.
Yes, because you've got to convince the player to join. It is going to take a couple of days, a couple of weeks to sign his top players. Don't bother about what Tottenham are doing. Right, they've signed a £30 million goalkeeper that no one has heard of. You haven't even heard of him. No, I guarantee.
No, but I think Seb Rory is like, I'm with him, like, in terms of like there's been no who actually been linked with like concrete for
nothing apart from Cunha. Maybe that.
Yeah, but he's on a new
maybe that. But
just really quickly on the question
I do agree with.
Just quickly on the question we were asked.
They're not signing anyone with
anyone else. No, they never have a plan B. Look, we can go back the last few Januaries. They wanted Vlahovic, didn't come. No plan B. They wanted.
He rejected us, Seb. He went to Juventus instead.
Well, I don't think he rejected us. I think it's the agent.
Well, yeah. So that's not really Arsenal's fault.
They wanted.
That wasn't really Arsenal's fault, though, was it?
No, yes, it was actually our fault because
it wasn't.
No, because they made it clear he didn't want to come, but all they did was waste all their time and didn't move on.
Firstly,
didn't move on. Remember Locatelli?
Seb, hold on.
I was already speaking. Remember Locatelli? They waited. He made it clear. Waited. Move on.
Can they respond to them now?
When were we linked with Locatelli?
About 4 years ago, we were.
We were.
We never linked with Locatelli.
Yes, we were.
We were linked with
Locatelli. Though. We didn't move on.
Like 29.
We didn't buy anyone else that summer. We had Basuma there. When there.
Oh, not this again. I'm not doing Basuma again.
Look how. Oh.
I'm not doing Basuma again.
Right.
First, real quickly on Vlahovic, and then I might go back to the question that I was answering, which is what we were asked of the panel. Right, on Vlahovic, it was all agent speak. By all accounts, Arsenal didn't actually waste a lot of time. Their plan B was Jesus. They couldn't make it happen in January. They made it happen in the summer, right? But equally, they have learned from that because we saw that the following January window when we went and signed Trossard instead of Mudryk, which, by the way, was a much better signing. But the question we were asked about whether, I'm trying to remember what it was now. It was about half an hour ago. Kroenke's whether we release funds or not this summer, or whether Arteta's happy with the squad. I think Arteta wants a signing this January. Obviously, he's saying in public he trusts in it's about working what the squad is. What do you expect him to say? He's going to say that in public, right? You know, what he says in public and what he says in private are probably not the same thing. And I can understand that. I think he will want a signing, particularly with the injuries we have right now. He has seven attacking, 8 attacking options, depending on how you want to classify Odegaard, Wanyeri, of which he's got currently 4 or 5 unavailable. Like, he's going to want an attacking reinforcement, and I think he wanted one in the summer. What I do think he wants is the right one. In terms of Kroenke's releasing the funds, I still don't know what funds we have. My gut feeling is around 50 mil, but I genuinely don't know. None of us know on PSR. But I do wonder whether the Kroenkes want to release the funds now or not. I think I genuinely go back and forth on this. In one sense, they back the manager constantly. On the other factor, it will be, do they think that releasing the funds now will get us the title? And that might be the thing in their mind. And I'm trying to be the Kroenkes here. And that might be the factor in their mind. I think my gut feeling is that Arsenal will release enough money for one transfer. And the point I was making about the summer transfer plans are set. I think it will be someone on that list that they are looking to try and bring forward rather than someone that's not on that list. And I can understand why Arsenal might try and do that. I don't think you sign someone on a permanent in January that you don't want going forward. That is a recipe for trouble. I think if there isn't a transfer you can bring forward from the summer, then Arsenal should look for a loan. Just like we did with Raheem Sterling last year. We didn't get the players we want, so therefore we bring in a loan because then you don't have to get stuck with the consequence of it. We don't want that. You don't want a player you don't want. But I think that will be the plan in January to try and bring forward a transfer.
I agree that like we should be linked with players by now, but at the end of the day, we are 6 days into a window. That's the point I am making. We're 6 days into a window, and you're expecting top players to come in.
Yes.
It's not rocket science. Jesus.
Yeah, what are you going to be saying this time next week when no one comes in? And then this time the week after when no one comes in?
Well, that's a very different scenario, isn't it?
See, this is the problem.
Seb, just let it happen.
But this is the question. This is about.
And if it does, look, if signings.
Yeah, then what you will say then? But I'll be right all along.
Yeah, and I'll come out and say you are right.
Right, real quickly, and then I think Bertie should get the chance to come in to see what he thinks on that Kroenke question. Right, the more difficult, the better the player, generally, the more difficult it is to get them out in January because they're generally at top clubs with things.
Pay the money, they're there.
Well, that's not necessarily true, as we've been through before. But secondly, if we are midway through the window, our third week of the window, and we haven't made signings, that's a very different scenario to where we are 6 days into the window. Arsenal need to make signings and need to make them quickly, but they also need to make sure they are right. And we have not seen a single top player move. The lack of links or the scattergun links are a bit worrying, but also Arsenal are notoriously quite good at keeping their players quiet about who they're after. So, but it does worry me that there are no links whatsoever. You've just got to hope that there is one somewhere and it's just not coming out. I'm hoping that we're one of the 4 clubs linked with Jonathan David. Admittedly, that's for the summer.
Yeah, I saw that.
But we don't know who they are. I'm hoping that is what's happening with the players we are trying to get this window. That's my hope. But it is it does need to happen quickly, but it needs to be right. And and the lack of links are worrying. But there's a difference between day 6, and Rory's absolutely right here, and day 18 of the window. But I don't know what Bertie thinks. I think we should definitely ask him.
I mean, yeah. I'll say something, but go on.
No, Posh, what do you make of this question here? I mean, do you think Arteta wants to sign this window, but the Kroenke's on and give him? Because of course, like they've already gave him like how much is it? Is it 800 million euros? Or was it 700 million pounds? Sorry, 800 million.
I have no idea, to be honest. But to answer that question, whoever it was that said, I think it's a bit of both. I do understand that point. And I think I really don't think we'll end up signing anyone in this transfer window. That's my prediction. And we'll get things like, oh, the money wasn't there. Well, I'm sorry. What happened to the money that we sold Ramsdale for? Where was the money that we got? Where was the money we got from Ramsdale? Where was the money we got from Nketiah? Those are going to be all the questions we'll be asking.
Smith Rowe as well. Smith Rowe,
yeah. We probably spent most of that on Mourinho, and look how that went. Yeah, I just don't think we'll end up signing anyone, and I think the money's there, as I mentioned, but it's whether we're going to do anything or not.
Can I just ask a question real quick?
Sorry, Rory, literally 10 seconds. I always prefer AFC. I always preferred Rachel Riley. To be fair.
Wait, what? Hold on.
Top comment.
Yeah. Can I just ask a question real quick? Yeah. So, are we competing with Tottenham or Liverpool here? Just yes, no question.
Well, come on, that's a stupid question here. Stupid question. I don't even have.
Who are we competing with?
I don't even have to answer. That's a stupid.
Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, you can have them to that conversation as well. They're playing better than us.
Well,
What phase is Nuno in, Seb?
Exactly. What phase is Nuno in?
Well, Seb, if we're competing with Liverpool, then why are you jealous of Tottenham? What they're doing at the moment?
No, I'm not.
Yes, you
I don't
are.
care what we're doing.
You are.
No, I'm not. No, you don't get this.
I do get it.
No, you don't.
Go on, Seb. Explain.
Right. I use that example because it shows you it can be done this early. Doesn't mean I like what we're doing or I'm jealous. It just shows you can get signings in early. This early. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay, well, all I'm going to say...
I'm not comparing. I wanted that keeper. Oh, no. Just because Liverpool aren't doing anything doesn't mean we shouldn't.
Seb, all I'm going to say is I don't want to see you complaining if we sign a random NPC for 30 million that no one's heard of. Don't want to see you complaining.
What do you mean don't want to see me complaining? I want them to go to the title.
Yes.
I'm getting fed up with this every time.
To come in within 6 days of a window.
Yes, of course you can. It shows you. Lee Judges said this on the podcast.
Doesn't make it right.
You said this. So they're right. No, they're right. Not they're right.
It doesn't make it right.
Why are they right?
They are right.
Why are they right?
Because it shows you it can be done.
Okay, all right. Let's put it this way. Okay,
fans' opinions.
Who is your okay, Seb? Who is your top target this window? Who would you most like to see happen?
Oh, I want to. I
didn't say anything.
We all heard it.
I heard what you said.
Who's your top target?
I heard what you said.
I was deliberately being
Who's your top target? Who's your top target?
My top target? Nico Williams and Victor Gorkarez.
Okay. All right.
Gorkarez. They got release clauses left, right, and centre.
Okay.
How are you getting them
they're release clauses. That's why.
All right.
Of
course you can get them. Activate them. Talk to the player. They're here.
Okay. Oh, jeez, it's not that simple. Okay.
Yes.
How are you getting them to?
Okay. Gorkarez is your top target. Okay.
Yes.
Right. Gorkarez is your okay. Sorry, Rory. One sec.
And Nico Williams as well.
So, okay. Pick one. Who? Which one? Don't care. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to talk this through.
Fine, Gorkarez.
Okay. Gorkarez is your top target.
Win me the title.
Okay. So I'm going to go to Slavia Prague right now, and I'm going to ask for you their number one goalkeeper. This is what Tottenham have done, right? Do you think how easy a conversation is that from Slavia Prague to Tottenham? I don't know whatever it was where he signed him from.
Yeah. No FC always you're wrong. Don't be silly.
If you go to Slavia Prague, right, and you go, here's £30 million for your goalkeeper. £30 million is an absolute fortune to them. For the goalkeeper, if they is rejected,
they'll take it.
He's going to agitate for the move.
Yeah,
so
of course they'll take it.
Furthermore, have you heard of him before?
Doesn't matter. No. That's not the point. I'm not trying to tell you.
No, it is a point actually.
No, it's
and by the way,
you don't get this. Guys.
Seb, let him finish, man. He'll explain.
And I will explain to you if you listen for 5 seconds. Okay? So not even his mum has heard of him, but he's going to agitate if that bid is rejected for Tottenham, right? It is an easy transfer to get done. Therefore, you can get that done in 5-6 days.
You've got to make these players available. They just made him available.
Let me finish, all right? So you're using them as an example. That is a very easy transfer to get done because Slavia Prague. It's a very different transfer. This is £30 million, a lot of money for them, and it's a player that is going to go mental if he's not allowed to leave. So he's going to agitate for a move if they don't accept it. It's a big step up, easy transfer to do. Victor Gyökeres now.
Gyökeres was disappointed he didn't get a move in the summer. He was gutted.
We're talking in January though.
Have you got any evidence for that?
Yes, he came out and said it. He came out and said he was gutted. He didn't move.
When? Because the latest I heard from him was that he was focusing totally on sporting.
No, in the summer he wanted to move, but no one came in and relaxed. Dortmund tried. They were the only team that actually tried to do it.
Well,
so you want us to try and get him or get him?
Right. So he also said in November he was very happy. Now, what they're saying publicly and what they think privately may well be different. But in November, which is after the summer, he said he's really focused on Sporting. Now, that situation might have changed because Ruben Amorim has since departed.
Well, there you go. So it's more gettable.
Well, hang on. It may well have changed. Arsenal may well be in that conversation. We don't know one way or the other. But it is not as simple as just paying the money. For that, it's really simple. You don't have to negotiate with the club. He has a release clause. Same with Nico Williams. But it doesn't necessarily mean that the player will want to move. Because
Nico Williams said that in the summer. He said he didn't want to move. He hasn't said that in Jan.
Okay, well, he has 3 days ago. He
said that in the summer. He said that. He made it everything clear in the summer. That's why I said, don't waste your time.
In the summer, he wanted to go to Barcelona.
That's why I said move on.
And we did. Right? But in the summer, he wanted to go to Barcelona, nowhere else. 3 days ago, Nico Williams has said that his ambition this season is to get his club, whose name has temporarily escaped me because it's 11:20, into the Champions League and to win the Europa League. Okay? So again, both players have aims and ambitions this season. Now, you may well be able to change their mind. That is possible. And you can trigger a release clause, assuming the money is there.
Danny Olmo as well. No one. Leroy Sané.
Yes, but no one's.
Don't tell me there ain't anyone.
We're not
Leroy
saying that.
Leroy Sané is never fit. We're not saying it can't be done. We're saying Danny Olmo wants to stay at Barcelona at the moment.
But he might not have a choice but to move.
Right.
He
But
might not have a choice.
okay, but how are you getting him 6 days into a window?
They still haven't, because they haven't registered him. You have to register him inside the first week.
We know, right? We know they can't register him, right? It's why Arsenal should be in the conversation.
I'm telling you now, if he ends up at another rival club, I'm telling you now.
Seb, please.
It's nearly 11:30, Seb. I want to go to bed, right?
Why?
The point here is, if you're trying to land top players, you're going to have to persuade them. You're going to have to persuade them to change their mind. That is not a simple 30-second conversation.
Make them available.
Of course you can, but it's not easy to do. You're getting a guy from Slavia Prague, right? It takes. Hello, would you like to change from the top division in Czechoslovakia for the best league in the world? Yeah, do you know what? I'm up for that. Right? Or do you want to go where you're the star at your club and you're playing Champions League football? Do you want to change it? Now, it might be an upgrade, but it's not such a simple conversation, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Look, every time, right, you ask a question.
Well, actually, Danny Olmo is number one.
What?
Fine, Danny Olmo, number one.
Yes, no one's denying that. I want Danny Olmo. But
did an article about him where he has to be in here.
We all want Danny Olmo, but right now he wants to stay at Barcelona.
But they may not have the choice.
Of course it doesn't. No point. Arsenal need to be in the conversation. But you're moaning about us not signing players 6 days in. Yes. What are you going to do to Danny Olmo right now?
You can't do anything right now, Seb.
Yes, we can. You haven't registered him.
Well, you can do something about it, but he doesn't want to leave at this moment in time. He wants to give Barcelona the opportunity to register him. He has just travelled to Saudi, I think it is, to play in some kind of competition for Barcelona. He's clearly committed to Barcelona at the moment.
Yes. I'm not saying.
So why are you moaning that we haven't signed him 6 days in the window when he doesn't want to leave Barca at the moment?
And Yokres as well.
It's not easy.
Ubamendi, all these players, you're not going to get them 6 days into a window. That's the point we're trying to make.
Yeah.
Right?
You can get at least one.
We don't want to win the league.
Don't all the groundwork and all that. You can get at least one in.
Do you really think Arsenal aren't doing the groundwork right now? Do you really think
let's find out. Well, we'll find out.
We will find out.
And if it doesn't happen, then we'll call it out.
Then we'll call it out, exactly.
I'll be straight back on him.
Happen, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, we all agree signings need to happen and they need to happen relatively quickly. But they are not simple as phone up, sign up, go, how much do you want? Yes. And then go, oh, look.
Well, how else is this supposed to be done then? If you don't ring
a negotiation.
It's definitely not the virtual way.
It is. Ring the club up. They'll give you a price. Pay. It's done. Not that difficult.
That doesn't even happen.
Go in a cutscene on FIFA, pay 60-odd million for Yokres, and then it just goes straight to you.
Well, even
That's
then,
how often it works, bro?
Even then, how often do you have to negotiate with a club on these games?
Football Manager wouldn't even allow that to happen because it's too unrealistic.
I think it does.
At the moment, it's not happening 6 days into a window. That's the point we're trying to make. We're not trying to say signings shouldn't happen. But
I just signed Euro on Football Manager during this podcast.
We need top players.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Rory, Rory, I just signed Euro on this podcast for Arsenal in Football Manager. It took 19 days for the transfer to go through on Football Manager, and it's not even real life.
Why? Because of a work permit?
There's no Cherno Samba.
Why? Because of a work permit?
No, the work permit was no problem. It's because I had to negotiate with the club. Then I had to negotiate a contract. Then he had to think about it, and then he had to sign.
Yeah, exactly. So that's not happening in 6 days, is it?
Oh, and I played the release clause, so I didn't even have to negotiate with the club. So that saved me a bit of time.
Yeah.
Oh, and also the negotiations happen all in the same day rather than over many days, which is what happens in real life.
I mean, you ask the questions on the group chat and then try and explain.
Chelsea signed Pedro Neto within an hour. Got it done within an hour.
Oh, yeah, he has...
He got it done within an hour.
Three goal contributions in 16 games.
Well, forget whether he's done or not. They didn't do it in an hour, did they? They did. Do you really believe that Chelsea rang up Wolves and went, "Hey Wolves, what's the fee?" And they went, "It's 50 million or whatever they paid." And then they got a contract all agreed within an hour with Neto with absolutely no pre-work whatsoever. It's just, I mean, that's insane if anyone believes that.
Yeah,
I do want to see believe.
It's just not being reported.
I do want to see believe. That's how that if you want to play, that's what you do.
That's not what any single owner, agent, or ex-player that has ever spoken about how transfers work that I have ever seen says it happens.
It's obviously been done in the background, Seb. Come on, but it's just
of course. There's negotiations in the background. Yes, of course. There's negotiations in the background. It's
obviously not taken flipping an hour to get done.
Well, Chelsea got Pedro Neto done within an hour.
They did not. It is absolute bollocks. It's just you can't seriously believe that.
I do.
Those
were the links. We only saw those all that time before he was there. He was going to Tottenham all that time.
But why does it matter if Pedro Neto went to Chelsea inside an hour?
Because that's who I wanted, and that's who we needed.
No,
because that's who we need.
Games. Hello.
We need another winger. Hello.
Stop throwing rainbows in Narnia. He has 1 goal in 16 games, for God's sake. 1 goal.
What did he do against us?
Football club. Good enough.
No, anyways, mate. That's
I don't know who this is, but
what did he do against us?
Not Julian. Come on, guys.
I don't know who Julian is. So.
No, I can't.
He looks a bit like. Have you ever watched Despicable Me? Have you ever watched Despicable Me?
Yeah.
Oh no, he's not Julian. I can't.
He looks a bit like Groom without the big
nonsense. His ball knowledge is in the
I'm not the best looking cat, but come on.
His ball knowledge is absolutely in the bin.
Yeah.
I always think he's milking it a bit. I always think he's deliberately saying these things to people. Is Julian? But I don't watch much of that.
He doesn't have a clue about football.
Much attention.
When he comes up with all these design spreadsheets, when doesn't know what he's talking about, and he can't.
Yeah, but as I was saying regarding Pedro Neto, if you've watched Chelsea so far this season, he's been playing more as a fullback, and you see where Arteta has set out our wingers to play as wing backs. So he wouldn't have done shit in this Arsenal team.
Yes, he would have.
No, he wouldn't. Alex Iwobi is better than him.
No, he's not.
He is.
No, he's not.
He is.
No,
I'm not arguing about Pedro Neto, but
Martinelli. You got a Martinelli off form. You got a Trossard off form. You got a Saka who's overplayed and injured.
And Pedro Neto off form at Chelsea.
You're not telling me he walks into the side and makes us better? Yes, of course he does.
Well, right now we all get into it. There's only 3 options.
Yeah, we all get in.
But I mean, no one is denying we need a signing, and no one denies it needs to happen quickly. But let's see where we are. We might not sign anyone. Do you know what? My fear is that Bertie's right, that we don't sign anyone.
If we don't, that's
can I just say,
you don't.
Dom, you should have stopped at. My fear is that Bertie's right.
And seriously, heads have seriously got to roll. If we don't.
Yes,
and
we agree
with them.
Yes, but we agree with you. But what we're saying is, trying to get these big
all these excuses about, we'll have a long summer this in the summer, and then when the summer comes, we never see them.
It's not excuses. We're spitting facts. You're just diverting yourself, bro. You don't know what you're talking about at the moment.
You're just prolonging this debate that I just want to end, please.
Yes, we agree. I'm with Bertie. Bertie, I asked you this last night. Who would you want to realistically sign this window? I asked the other guys. I didn't.
Well,
Bertie, you said that without moving your lips. Congratulations.
Dani Olmo, Victor Corcoran,
Bertie, who would you like to sign?
well, I'm actually.
You've had 24 hours now to think of
Dani
it.
Olmo.
Well, I'm
I'm
actually
asking
going to.
Bertie, Seb, shut up.
I'm actually going to steal your answer, Dom, and say
Are you?
Bueno.
Oh,
'Cause I think you made a good point there. Because with the money we got for Ramsdale and Nketiah, I think that comes to a good total to actually get Mbeumo.
yeah, I'm hoping that will be available. Seb, I think if we can get Olmo, by the way, to Seb's point, then I think you can do 2 transfers this season.
Yeah, exactly. You get
Olmo
him
will cost
and
about
one
10
other
million.
guy.
Hold on, Dom. Can we confirm that Seb wants Dani Olmo this January?
I think
Olmo and I want Gorkaros. Or Olmo and I want Williams. One of those. Olmo definitely. Williams or Gorkaros. Ideally Gorkaros and Olmo. Then done.
But Bertie, I'm with you on Mbeumo. I think
and Mbeumo I take as well.
Has Williams kicked on?
Thank you. I stole the answer from you because I couldn't.
Williams has been shit
at this time.
season.
At this time of night.
Has Williams?
Williams has been shit this season. I'll be honest, mate.
Yeah.
There you go. 58 million.
Okay. I'm not paying much attention.
He does better in his Arsenal team, and he doesn't have athletic Bilbao side.
But they're in the top
but
4.
Bilbao doing well this season.
They're in the top 4.
And
What are you on
they're
about?
like 3rd in Europa League.
Okay, Olmo and Gorkaros. Done. Those 2 Cunnies come in, I'll feel a lot more. Our chances will literally boost them.
We'd all agree with you there, but right now, Dani Olmo isn't going to happen unless he changes his mind, which might happen later in the window, but it's not going to
only happens it only doesn't happen if they register him. At the moment, they can't do it without offloading a player.
Yes, we
can't.
We know,
this
but at the moment, Olmo doesn't want to go.
He doesn't. He might not be down to him.
Yeah,
but he might not be down to him.
We know we're saying that if it happens, it's going to happen later in the window because it's not going to happen now because he wants to stay.
Yeah.
And he wants to give them the opportunity to register him.
But didn't they need to do it? Didn't they need to do it before the first week of Jan? That's all I'm saying.
Yes, but they can do it at any point during January. So right now he wants to give them time. So it's not an option for anybody to sign him because right now he wants to give Barcelona time to register him. Which is why he's travelled with them to Saudi. I think it's Saudi they've gone to this week.
Something like that, yeah. But guys, let's I just want to ask one more question and then we'll wrap this up. Going back to the Carabao Cup, obviously, trophy that we've only won twice in history. I know there's a lot of talk about Arteta got to deliver something big with Arsenal this season. So I'm gonna ask the whole panel this, right? If we go this season and we win the Carabao Cup and say we finish, second again, does Arteta deserve, another year, or does he deserve to stay on? And I'll come to Seb first.
No.
I can't hear you.
You're on mute.
No, he said no.
No.
It's a tough one, but no.
Guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
It's a tough one, but no, that's not enough.
Not enough. All right.
Well, it's not enough.
Okay, I hear it. Yeah.
We got it.
I hear it. Yeah. Rory.
Yes, because ultimately he's been successful, regardless of the League Cup, whatever, and whether you want to discriminate it. You've won silverware, and you've got us into another title race. That's all I want. Just silverware this season is safe for him in the job. But yeah, he needs to build on from that. He needs to go and win a Premier League and a Champions League.
He wins that and one other trophy, I would say yes.
Yeah.
Say again.
If he wins the Carabao Cup and one other trophy, then I'll say.
So if we do the Cup double, FA Cup and Carabao Cup.
Yeah, I'll take that. But still, it'll just be paper in the cracks. But
yeah, I agree.
I think I'll keep him in the. He deserves. He probably deserves to keep his job if he won the Cup double. But let's be honest, it will only be paper in the cracks.
So one Cup doesn't do it for you, Seb?
Well, one Carabao Cup, no.
And a title race,
no. If it's behind Liverpool, no. Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Yeah, but
we didn't go into phase 5.
You've been successful though, and you've still finished second.
Yeah, but no, come on. It's behind. Look who you're behind, though. I'm sorry.
Yes, I know, but Liverpool
a side that were in the title race last year.
We're not in the title.
Liverpool were last year.
Yes.
What? So why are you ashamed to be behind them this year? I get we should be ahead of them.
Because come on, we've got a new manager in phase one. And let's be honest. And plus,
I've not got time to debate phases tonight.
Manager in phase one. That's embarrassing.
No, Seb, I get it. Posh, if he wins the Carabao Cup, does he deserve to stay, or would it not be enough for you?
If it's only the Carabao Cup, that heavily depends on if we completely crash out in the league and in the Champions League. If it's if we win the Carabao Cup, we come a close second in the league, and we go on an impressive run in the Champions League, then we can talk. Maybe that could be the case. But if we win a League Cup, an FA Cup double, but don't win the league or Champions League, then yes, that's enough. If we win a cup double, then keep them in. But if it's only the Carabao Cup, that heavily depends on how we do in the other competitions and how close we come. That's in my view. Lots of things to discuss if it's only the Carabao Cup. Lots of different factors can come into this because
Also, I did forget to mention, say if he did win the League Cup and then finished, I don't know, 3rd or 4th, then I think I'll probably say because especially if you're below Nottingham Forest.
Especially if Nottingham Forest
is unforgivable.
But if you're in a title race but you win a League Cup, then you keep him for another season.
And Dom,
but then it'll be 3 seasons competing for the title and not getting over the line.
But you've won a trophy.
But we did win something. That's the other. And I said we have to win something this season, and we've not won the League Cup in like 30 years. Sorry to make Dom feel old, but I don't think many of us were even born when
Arsenal lost. No, it wasn't. No,
it was the Coca-Cola Cup, wasn't it? They called it.
Yeah.
By the way, Coca-Cola Cup.
One of those two, yeah.
Steve Morrow was it Steve Morrow that got dropped on his head?
Yeah, Steve Morrow, yeah.
Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah, Sheffield Wednesday, yeah.
Wow.
I was 8 actually, because I wouldn't have had my birthday.
And we won the. Did we win the FA Cup that season as well?
Against the same team.
Yeah, I think we did. What? Yeah, we did.
Yeah, Sheffield Wednesday
both against Sheffield Wednesday.
That's mad, man.
In the days when Sheffield Wednesday were fairly decent.
Yeah, they were good. They were good.
Trevor Francis.
Well, I don't think he was quite playing then, but yeah. Oh, he was the manager,
you know what I mean. He was the manager.
I think he was the manager. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a time traveller. You see,
He's secretly Bran the Broken.
I'm Benjamin Button.
Doctor Who.
But yeah, Dom, what do you think, man? If Arteta was to win the Carabao Cup this season, does he deserve another just to stay on pretty much?
I think if you'd asked me in the summer, I would have 100% said no. I think it had to be the League or Champions League this year. So I think and I always talk about context, and I think it's important. I think if we were to win the League Cup, challenge for the league and go quarterfinals in the Champions League, that probably just about keeps him his job. And I say just about. And I think the reason it just about keeps him his job is because you can call them excuses if you don't, but I do think the injuries and the other factors have been significant factors this season. And we've seen Manchester City with similar issues this season really, really struggle. They could go out the Champions League, by the way, and they are 6 points behind us in the league. So we've seen them struggle. So I think it is a factor. I think it just about keeps him his job, and it is just about. But as Bertie said, or Rory said, or possibly right, you slip to 3rd or 4th and not 2nd, particularly if that's behind Forest. And by the way, I really don't think that's going to happen. At some point, Forest are going to fall away. I said Arsenal 2 years ago. I said
that about Leicester in 2016.
Well, that's true, but I think that's a genuine exception to the rule. I think if you look at a history bar that, most teams like that fall away. I think the previous time a side came from nowhere was Ipswich in the first year of the Premier League, and he finished 3rd. So it's happened maybe twice where a random team has gone, come from nowhere.
Newcastle, I guess.
Who?
Newcastle, who finished, I think, was it 12th, and then they got top 4.
Yeah, but they also invested many, many millions in one go, which is now why they have PSR issues, by the way. But yeah, I think it just about. But if you'd asked me in the summer, I'd have definitely said no. But I do think they are factors in the season. That's, again, to be very clear, again, That is not to take away from the fact that Arteta hasn't got things wrong and the club haven't got things wrong, but they are factors.
Yeah. Yeah, no, fair enough, guys.
I mean, it does change the view on the season, right? But going into the season, if you said Carabao Cup and second, I would have been like, no, that's not good enough.
Yeah, that's fair. Let's just quickly go through some score predictions for the game tomorrow.
I was hoping you'd forgotten about this.
I'm going to go really tight 2-1 to Arsenal, man. 2-1 to Arsenal. Really, really tight game. Again, that even if we get a win 2-1, that won't give me confidence because it's still like one goal in it. Newcastle and that it goes. Wait, does it go extra time if it's tight, or does it go straight to penalties?
No, you'll go straight to pens. No away goal roll.
No away goals.
No, you'll go straight to pens.
No extra time.
Level at level over both legs.
Shit, man. Okay.
No extra time. It's only extra time is only a final.
Only a final, yeah. Okay. So yeah, I've gone 2-1. Posh, what's your prediction for tomorrow, man?
I was gonna say the same as you. I was gonna say 2-1. We'll probably go 2-0 up. Newcastle pull one back, and again that's gonna make my blood pressure rise going into the game at St James's Park. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna go with. 3-1 would give me a little bit more, breathing space. Not much because it's Arsenal, but I'm gonna go 2-1.
Yeah, fair. Dom?
Oh, I really don't want to. I really hope it's 5-0. I mean, I really hope for an Arsenal win. I have a horrible feeling it's going to be a draw. I have a horrible feeling it's going to be 1-1. But I so badly hope to be wrong.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough.
I'm just concerned about what team we're going to be able to put out.
Yes.
And how physically capable it's going to be.
Yeah, I hear it, man. 100%. Yeah, Rory?
Oh, you know what? No, I'm not predicting us to lose. I mean, I never predict us to lose, but I can see it for some reason. I don't know why. My head's saying 2-0, but my heart's going 1-0 Arsenal.
Wait.
Sorry, my head's saying 2-0 Newcastle. Sorry, my heart's saying 1-0 Arsenal. I'm going to go with my heart and say 1-0 Arsenal. I think it's important that we have a lead, something to hold on to without obviously conceding. But I've got a horrible feeling that we're going to lose the first leg.
I do.
Let alone draw, and any sort of defeat. I think the writing's on the wall.
Yeah, I agree.
And
I have that horrible feeling too, Rory. I really do. I am genuinely concerned about tomorrow. I just don't know who's going to be fit. And I mean that in the sincerest possible terms. If we genuinely had 8 players training today, I am genuinely concerned because 2 or 3 of them would have been keepers. Genuinely concerned about who is.
Do you think we'll postpone it?
I don't think we can. I don't know. But
I don't know.
We can't postpone it. So does that mean like the worst comes to worst, we have to get youth academy players to come in?
I mean, I've noticed as well. Max Dalman has been training with the seniors.
Yeah, man's like 15, mate.
He could get a chance.
He's like 16, 15.
Yeah, I think he's 15.
Yeah, madness, man, madness.
Yeah,
he's been training.
I've just got a horrible feeling. Unless if we got a lead, I think any sort of lead going into St James's Park with a clean sheet, 1-0, 2-0, whatever, something to hold on to where we can stink up the gaff in the second leg. I think that will do. But yeah, hopefully, I don't want to self-promote, but yeah, hopefully my watch long will save the day. I'll try my best.
Yeah, good luck, man. Good luck. You've been unbeaten, right? Ever since you've done the watch along. We've been unbeaten, so keep it up, man.
We've only lost twice this season, haven't we?
We need you.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. We'll lose more games if we carry on playing like this. Sure, doesn't matter. How many have we drawn?
Deb, give us your prediction for tomorrow.
1-0.
To Arsenal, yeah?
1-0
to Arsenal. Okay. All right, fair enough. Yeah, that's that, guys. It's gone 2.5 hours. Yeah, to really speak. Yeah, mad guys. Thank you so much, guys. Firstly, I appreciate your time on the panel, and Cooper as well came on earlier. Honestly, really appreciate it. I know it's really late, so thank you so much for coming on today. The chat as well, everyone tuning in. Thank you guys so much for all the support. But yeah, let's quickly shout where I'll start with Posh. Posh, great to have you back, mate. If you want to shout where they can find you, my friend.
Always a pleasure. Yeah, you can find me on X at Posh Bertie. My Instagram's at Bertie Wanless, and I run Gooner Gatherings Instagram account, which is of course at Gooner Gatherings. Speaking of which, you can also find myself and Dom and Lee Meadows, our founding father of the channel, on youtube.com/Gooner Gathering.
Yeah, nice one, mate. Love that. We go Dom next. Domination. He's cooking, mate. He's absolutely dominating on YouTube. I saw his video, man. He got 500 views the other day, man.
Yeah, I couldn't believe
what
that.
What phase is Dom in, Seb?
What phase is Dom in, mate? 500 views.
Trust the Dom set.
687, I think it was. Yeah, I was stunned at that. I thought YouTube had had a moment. Missed out a decimal place. Yeah, unbelievable. I mean, it's 6-7 weeks old, the channel now. Yeah, it's good fun, which is the main thing. You can find me at Arsenal Domination. You can also find me at Gooner Gathering, where Lee watches Arsenal, so we don't have to. See, I remember it, Bertie. Yeah, there was a really good. I
was too tired to say the full.
There was a really good show last night over there at Gooner Gathering as well. So please do check that out if you get the chance. But yeah, you can find me at Arsenal Domination. A couple of shorts out today, if I remember rightly. Certainly one. So yeah, no, you can find me there. And thanks for having me on as always.
Oh no, pleasure, man. I love the when Lee did the forfeit, he shaved his eyebrows off, right? Because what was it?
Yeah, never bet against
Nketiah scored.
I was I know we conceded, but I was still laughing my head off then. I was like, oh yes.
Yeah, that was cool.
I wonder when Nketiah has scored headers like that for Arsenal.
But by the way, really quickly, and this is not for debate, this is just for a tongue-in-cheek remark, because it's late. But it turns out that you can't accidentally collide heads in the penalty area without giving away a penalty, but you can punch the ball in the penalty area and not concede a penalty, as it turns out. Just look, that Wolves earlier had the most blatant handball that wasn't given.
Yeah.
Wow.
Check it out if anyone hasn't seen it.
Yeah. Rory, bro, obviously, I know you said you got your watch on tomorrow, so hopefully, well, we will win now because you're doing a watch along.
Yeah, it should be a match reaction afterwards, and we play obviously Man United at the weekend, where unfortunately we're going to be wearing the all-white kit, so that's where my streak's going to end.
Oh, mate, have we been winning that kit?
We won against Oxford.
We
established we beat Oxford once.
It's a great message, Oxford, but we never win in that kit. Unless it's Oxford. Against Oxford.
Yeah, we lost to Forest and bloody Liverpool last season, so...
Yeah. So there we go. And Seb, you got any articles coming up, my friend?
Yeah, should have one this weekend based on the FA Cup.
What's it covering? Sorry, mate. I genuinely didn't hear.
The FA Cup.
What about it? Sorry, any?
Well, we've just been very successful over years. I'm just going to go through the best moments.
Oh, super.
So
we've won it the most time still, man. Yeah. But I'm pretty sure Man United are one behind us now, aren't they?
Mm.
Yeah.
In terms of like that.
We've got to stop.
Yeah, 100%.
It's up to us on Saturday.
Yeah.
A massive one on Saturday, man. Massive one. Well, yeah, it's 3 o'clock on a Sunday, ain't it?
Sunday, 3 o'clock, BBC One.
It's Sunday, 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock?
Yeah, big kick-off time. Apparently the game's on ITV as well tomorrow.
BBC One, BBC.
What, tomorrow for the Carabao Cup, Seb? ITV?
Oh, no, it's
no, Carabao Cup's on ITV.
No, it's on Sky Sports.
BBC.
No, it ain't.
Is it? Wait, let me check.
Hey, I swear it's on ITV for tomorrow. Right?
It's on ITV tomorrow, and
Yeah, it is. Oh, yeah, it is. I thought it was on Sky Sports. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, there we go. So yeah, guys, we'll be back tomorrow. Of course, we'll be live for match day.
8 o'clock, isn't it?
Yeah, 8 o'clock kickoff. Yeah.
Oh, I should be back from work.
So yeah, we'll be live tomorrow for that one. But yeah, guys, it's been a pleasure as always. We always got a bit of popcorn settings in there as well. You know what? It was actually between more of Cooper and Dom tonight. That's what I noticed. You know, they're going back and forth for each other. It's actually not really said, but anyway, it was still, guys. It was
later on,
show, man.
We started to see like prime.
As always, it wouldn't be a podcast. It wouldn't be a TG podcast without Seb and Dom going at each other. At least something, mate. You know what I'm saying? But,
I didn't start it this time, by the way, for the third or fourth time running. Just saying. This is a new Zen me.
I mean, just win me a title when you can get this.
Anyway, guys, we're getting out of here. Thanks so much, everyone, who tuned in today. And
you can sign players in day one.
We get it.
Yeah, we get it. Cheers, guys. We're getting out.